up, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Skeptic and Ranting. He's already arrived? People don't see it. That's right. Basically the Antichrist. They always have to have these, like, very subtle...
Oh, we have 8 calls from Satan.
Oh, my. We're going to be busy all day. Says here that he wants to shove a pineapple up my... And that's right, we are going to be having fun tonight in this episode as we are watching a video from the channel Lion of Judah.
The Lion of Judah.
It's very alpha male. As we...
About as liony as Moonlight is.
Well, I will say, if you're using him as an example, then it's basically femboys. Though I love my baby boy.
At least Moonlight is cuddly and sweet, and yeah.
And won't try to convert you to a man that was the son of a god. Who, by the way, I can't tangent this much before we even play the credit, the friggin' theme song. But I have a book. I'll share that book in a second. Because we are watching a video. He's already arrived, but people don't see it. Dun, dun, dun. It's James. It's like a horror movie mystery.
That happened to me once. Like, I called like 45 minutes. It's like 15 minutes later, and it's already there. And it's like, he's arrived. What the hell? Hey. I was thinking it's going to be another 15 minutes, but he's here, and I didn't even know it because we didn't think he was coming yet.
And I will say that if it takes 2,000 years for your boo to text you, I got bad news. It's okay.
And in terms of God, like, he's ghosting you. He's giving you one-word responses. It's like, yeah. He's ghosted the church for a couple thousand years, but he's just he. It's like he pushes you away just to see if you'll follow him, just to see how much you really love him.
Also, can we point out how all the cool miracles just don't happen anymore? Now that he resurrected and coincidentally went back up to heaven, now all the miracles.
Expected to hang out,
Now it causes remission in like 1 out of every 36 cancers. Or I should say different statistics depending on the type of cancer. But that's how he works. He's so mysterious. And I say he because he has to have a big schlong.
You can't measure God. You can't test him. So if you were to test like kids with cancer that were being prayed for, he would have to let them die because he could not heal them or intercede if you were if it was going to provide evidence that he was there, because that would intrude on your free will. That would be
exactly.
Forcing you, giving you evidence is forcing you to believe in him, and he doesn't want to do that.
And they love that free will. I will say
he respects you enough.
It seems to allow you to drown babies.
He respects you enough to hide his presence from you, so that he can torture you forever because you did not believe he existed.
Well, I mean, that's what an all-loving God would do. Which,
precisely. You see how much sense it makes.
But with that, we're going to have to send it in as we are skeptic and ranting on He's Already Arrived, but people don't see it. And where is my plug line thingy? Hold on. The gears are working. For a good time worth ending the world. Gizmo is going to beat me later.
Press the button.
happening right before we started was we can't help but riff because this guy is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think what I like about him the most is you ever get like a platter that has a little bit of everything. You go to a diner and you get the breakfast that has the whole hog. You go to Olive Garden and you get the tour of Italy. Sometimes you just need a little bit of everything. And folks, we have that
The
for you
veggie
tonight.
platters he loves with the cauliflower, the broccoli, the carrot sticks. That you just ignore and grab chicken.
However you like your Antichrist, that is the way that this Antichrist is coming to you. Oh, the amount of Antichrist that we surprisingly have for you tonight.
Well, Amy, the Bible is very specific, okay? It doesn't just scattershot. It gives you laser beam focus when it makes prophecy. So that's how you know it's telling the truth. Because look, you go to these psychics and their shit is so vague and nebulous, and it could mean literally anything. Okay, only the Bible. It just tells you exactly what it means, so that way you know that it's supernatural information.
Unless it doesn't, because he's going to quote the Bible many times tonight for different Antichrists. But if you get one Antichrist right with those Bible passages, doesn't that mean the other Bible passages for the Antichrist are wrong?
You mean it's like you have a robbery and you give the police like 10 different descriptions that are completely different. It could be one of these guys. It could either be he could either be 6'1" or he could be like 5'1", 5'0". He could be somewhere in there. He could be 5'5". Could be black, could be white, could be Hispanic, could be Asian. He could be any of these.
James, gender, it does not matter. Because once again, if you're just throwing at a dartboard, I guess eventually you're going to hit that. You're going to hit that target eventually. But I will say, I do want to send love to everyone out there. Speaking of sending love, right before I send love out there, I can't help it because I said sending love, and now that's our new thing. I feel all subconscious because I wanted to get a whole bunch of more emojis and not just to me. James, do you know how awesome I am? But I like having just more stuff to give out to our members, and just to, I think, send love out there into the world. Though I want to do a bunch more like the our book and our tree, because those make me laugh every time. Just like Gilbert every time he says "up our butt." It's the simple things in life, James. But yes, the simple things. Speaking of which, sending love out to our Skeptic and Ranting community. Feel free to share, Sonny and share, if you think that the debate topic is something of relevance to someone you've been talking to or debating. Or sending love to everyone out there in the live chat. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, because when you get access to that bell icon, it will allow you to see our premieres or join our live streams. Like, hello, everyone. What is up? God equals the square root of number 1. Is there an Uncle Christ? Probably. It's like Uncle Fester, but with Christ. Purple rhymes with orange, and Azor, and Sinister Porpoise,
That's right.
Everybody, Pieter, and James Wolfe, and Shane Billowitz, and we're sending so much love to you. We're having fun. Helianthus, why did you guys block? Did Sunflower get blocked?
He did for questioning moderation in chat repeatedly with Titan.
But this is what always happens. It's like I have these things, and then I unblock, and now I'm gonna have to I don't know. Now I should feel like I should talk with Titan and Sunflower together to sort that out. Because I love y'all, but I don't know what the story is. I trust our admins and our mods, and I still love all of our theist brothers and sisters. I want you to come on. Whatever. Okay, well, I'll ask Titan what you did, and if he says, I want to try and, because in other times when I did specific people, it was kind of chaotic, and I did pick them for mostly chaotic reasons, which was and this is only one or two specific mods that I'm thinking of, but it was because they got kick banned out of another theist circle. And that just got me excited because I was like, "Come join us. The water's fine."
She doesn't fight.
Unless you're into that. What's up, Low Kiefer? Oh my! I'm trying to think of my memory. I'll remember with Titan. I'll ask for you because I have my bands where very specific. Where I think they're TOS blocking and they are just, I don't know how to explain it. Someone on the internet said my name. Titan, why is I probably can guess if we were talking about dartboards, but Sunflower wants to be unbanned.
It was for discussing moderation.
But now I feel like I should talk with you before I do certain ones. But see, this is what always happens, though. Jay, I tell the same story. It's like people are like, "Hey, Amy, get me unbanned," and I'm like, "Okay, what'd you do?" And they're like, "I was just being too nice." I'm like, "Oh, sure, definitely." And so I unbanned them, and then they directly go, "The mods so hard, suck it right here," and I'm like. Oh, what do you want me to do? Like, I once again, and okay, he's saying, says as long as Sunflower doesn't decide moderation inside chat, and thus, there you go, Sunflower. While we're watching the videos, I'll undo it. But please be nice to our mods. I really don't think it's that hard of a request. I somehow manage going on very... It sounds weird if I say very Christian as opposed to, just a little bit Christian servers. But, I don't know, I had a moment on Brett's where after 45 minutes I must have cursed. And they're like, no cursing. And I keep on forgetting. What's the Ken Hoven in them? Because there's a module in our brain for curse words that's just like, these are the good words and these are the bad words. And they're actually, I just find it, magical thinking has always been. That's true, Titan.
Very poppable.
The first rule of yes, basically. Just because the interesting topics are about these theological, scientific, dare I say even philosophical.
You can.
I feel like there's science here and philosophy here and politics here. Like by the time you get to politics, it's just all opinion. It's just slowly but surely. I understand its need for hypothesizing, though. I still think it. What's up, Sumami? What is up, everybody? We're talking. He's already arrived, but people don't see it. Which, I mean, I guess if you're just going to say everyone, eventually you're going to be right. Though I don't believe in an anti-Christian. My mom is very Christian. Kenneth Copeland style.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, I'm so sorry.
I wouldn't say my mom is Kenneth Copeland style.
I guess that's true. My mom is not very Jewish, but that's like the majority of Jews in this country. Yeah. And so in that way, she kind of is very
She's
Jewish.
kind of main normal
She has
Jewish mom.
Well, she used to eat bacon. Now she eats turkey bacon because health crazes.
For health
and
reasons,
stuff.
yeah.
Yes, but not for Moses. Unless that is my father's name, Moses. Okay, we're saying hi. We'll keep on saying hi to you. And I think we got our roasting answer, which is just this is the God equals square root one set of poo poo platter. This is kind of like if you were going to a Chinese buffet, a buffet. I guess it doesn't really matter what kind of buffet. This is what you're gonna get. Anyway,
this is a buffet that's about ready to get shut down by the health department. This is like a buffet.
Well, that's all buffets, if we're being honest.
Well, that may be true. This is like a buffet in the sense of that elementary school lunch line. Yeah, where the choices are not very appetizing all the way around.
Also, what is up, James Wolfe, Randolph Richardson, and everybody? The Antichrist, a contemporary middle-aged American Jew, or so Jerry Falwell suggested. I feel like, is he the guy? I was just watching a video, and Christopher Hitchens, and paraphrasing, he said that if he could give Jerry Falwell an enema, you could bury him in a matchbox. Yeah, oh my goodness. I honestly miss Christopher.
Oh yeah. There wouldn't be much left.
There would not be.
After that,
he also said that at the very end of the quote, or at the segment that he was being interviewed on I think it was Fox actually, and so it was kind of the last word as that quote, which was just fantastic. The Antichrist, space lasers, eating cake is always a sin, but there's no sin when you eat pie. The sin of pie is always 0. That's true. I can't go more than 3.14, but I do eat peanut butter pie. We are a skeptic channel, including the 2 schmucks that you see before you. However, after our little bit of Sam Harris's housekeeping and the opposition viewpoint, we will be opening it up for the open mic. So you actually have props, can tell us what you thought about.
No, it's not.
I might have been doing karaoke a little bit too much. But we floodgates. Oh, so anyone can say what their mind about the topic. Atheist or theist, liberal or conservative, come as you are. Just
drunk or sober.
Try to aim for something. Exactly. I don't know why that made me think of a certain president's mugshot today. I don't know why. I don't know why alcohol. He doesn't drink alcohol.
He doesn't
do drugs. He does not do drugs. No. Or at least maybe he does Adderall or some shit. But he doesn't do the type of drugs that we think of. Yeah. You can. There's lots of ways to support the channel. The fact that you're here and I'm queer. We're just sending love to you. But also, not only subscribing, but if you send in super chats, I will interact and dance, and James will read, and we'll all have a fantastic good time. And you can also get our channel membership with our evolving badge system. That's right. If a certain creationist told you that evolution isn't real, point them to this channel. So thank you to all of our members, sending so much love, as well as, once again, that new emoji. And I got to think of maybe like a collab or a contingency or the fact that they say nothing. There's got to be a few of these, maybe say it says like everything's a watch and it's just a watch. Oh my god. What if it was like a planet that was a watch and then there were like little watches on top of it, and so you were implying that it's a watch and a watch and a watch. The watchmaker argument. Is that too abstract?
Yeah.
We're gonna workshop these.
Yeah. They won't get it.
Anyway. Drawer full of Sudafed. What's up, praise that? Big Band Mama. What is up, Big Band Mama? Sending love. You should be checking out Big Band Mama's channel. She has a lot of fun content, or they have a lot of fun content. What's that?
Sumami says a drawer full of wigs. He's like, it's my hair. It's my hair.
Oh my god. I just don't understand like why no one has convinced him to be a normal color. Like, you can get a spray in like a lot of different ways. You could get a makeup artist. You could get just, why that color? It's just so
the orangish, dark orange.
Yes, I mean, like, I don't think he's a billionaire. I think that he's in debt and he probably has millions. Though millions, you can live comfortably. However, if you're a millionaire, hire someone to just put a shade fucking thing. It's got like a color. Just put it up to your face. It's got to have enough money.
Then if you change, then it's like you're bowing to them.
Well, he should have done it 10 years ago, okay?
Right.
I get 20 years ago, but like, but sure, once people make fun of you and stuff, once you become a political person, so maybe even during The Apprentice and all that shit, when he was still neutral. I disliked him during that time. I disliked him pre him being elected because he sued Bill Maher. He sued Bill Maher for a joke. I will never forgive him for that because I think that you are a big giant. What's the scientific word? There's an academic word. Oh yeah, you're a big bitch. There it is. And so I just knew going into it when they were like, this is the tough guy. This is the guy that's going to stand up and he's politically incorrect and all. I'm like, the guy that got his feelings hurt and sued in court. He lost, by the way. They threw it out because ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
It could still make you rack up legal fees just to.
Oh, sure. So if it wasn't a celebrity, he sued a celebrity. So he sued Bill Maher. He sued one of my own, not a celebrity, a comedian. And so, but because Bill has at least enough money and lawyers, and he probably the HBO has a legal team and all this stuff. And so, yes. So if it was just anyone else, they would probably bow. He has thousands of lawsuits. I am not exaggerating. Past the
Bill Maher or Trump?
No, very much Trump. Just, and I get it. You'll say as many corporations or all this shit. Listen, at a certain point, the skin, it's like you could just peel it away. Anyway, it's orange. I like orange. Well, I'm warming up to oranges, not the skin, the actual hydration that you play during soccer. Yes. Though I'm more of a grape juice fan. Grape and apple.
There you go, Titan.
I won't body shame anyone. I'll shame someone for lying. Then we play.
They just took his word for it. I mean, that's like the NFL, like where the players post their weight, and except they're usually trying to make them look bigger than they are. So.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just funny because it goes against he's not John Wayne. He shares more in common with me. And I know this. Even the bad traits that I dislike, I recognize that it's like, oh God, the Northeast. Oh God, I can just feel it on you. And yet somehow he is rural America. Okay. Nah, it makes sense. You think he's ever shot a gun? Has he ever shot a gun for publicity?
Probably.
James.
I wouldn't really want him to be like taking one apart though. Like I don't think he would know.
No,
Yeah.
not. And I wouldn't trust him with any prolonged amount of time with a weapon. Really, any weapon,
No.
but especially a firearm.
Not even as much as Alec Baldwin. I would trust Alec Baldwin more than I would trust.
But that's the point. They're in clueless celebrities. I wish that they had stayed in that corner. Anyway, sending so much love as you can not only a channel membership sending to our Patreon either today or either Saturday or Sunday. One of these days, are we going away for Sunday? Am I going away for Sunday?
Friday.
I'm trying to think. I'm going to a movie on Friday. I think late night, maybe Saturday.
Friday.
No, I know. I'm thinking. I think late night,
week.
maybe Saturday. This Saturday, I may do the Patreon stream to no one, or to anyone who's there. But I feel like we have to do it. I should ask you when you're available, James. But probably the next one that we're available, we're just gonna sneak that in there, even if it's just for like an hour, because one of the best ways to help support the show and to try and help us, we're trying to get some new shows created. I have already kind of streamlined some things on the Patreon. I think we're going to continue to do so. And so go check that out and at patreon.com/Amy Newman. Boo-boo. And all right, I am also going to just give some quick love to the wonderful and amazing, the fabulous Rachel Holen, reminding us you should be taking slaves from not the nations around you, but just go to a BDSM club.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. As well as...
I don't think the Canadians would make good slaves. Oh.
Sending love to Randolph. Yeah. I know that also Pine Creek is a transferring...
Slaver?
An immigrant. He's from Canada and he lives in America. Yes. And I think that we're winning him over to support, gender just being a sociological and psychological
otherwise then you phenomenon. Can enslave them.
But that's been the big thing. Boom, boom, boom. So sending love so much. Now I just have to send love to all of those other atheist content creators out there as well. Actually, just while I'm in the middle of it, just sending love to Skylar Fiction. I thought that he did a great debate on MDD. I'm very biased towards, religious debates. That's kind of our shtick. And so I think that Skylar, I think he's a pagan, a pantheist.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he's one of those that really takes Christians to task. I know that Skylar has always treated me well, and so I just want to send that love right back to him. I think he did well. And I'm not just buttering his bread. I think that guy, I think it's Trey was his name. There were certain times where he just seemed lost.
I think
that's the only way to explain it. Oh, You said he thinks he. Did I go out? Did you go out? No, James got summoned by Satan. But yes, it was good, and these Christians just, they tie themselves in knot.
Yes.
Also, woohoo! Thank you so very much, SO64. Woohoo! I actually, just like we're doing with Super Chat, I can't help myself. Boo, 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 boo. All my props, at least they're organized now. Boo, 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 boo. Do, 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 do. James, you have no idea how sensual my dances are. Oh my god. I'm working on it. Yes, I'm sending love. My face is better than those. TMs me. Yeah, he's. I don't know what it is about this issue. I swear to you, when I started this channel, I did not talk about being transgender as much as I do now. And it's not because I've been like, look how brave I am. It's because, like, it triggers them so much. I don't know what so Pine Creek is, he's an atheist. I think that him and Matt Dillahunty have been, I kind of didn't want to bring up a tiff because clearly I'm going to side with Matt. I think that, well, see, I even say I side with Matt over it, but it shouldn't be siding with Matt over Pine Creek, because what it should be, in fact, let me rephrase that. What it is that, once again, gender is just a sociological phenomena. And so once we get over that, it could just be, all of us team atheists moving forward.
That's what really has beef.
Yeah, well,
hate people.
I've seen him have good conversations. I've seen him talk with, I think, was it Jefferson Spatchcock? I've seen him talk with Danny. He had an amazing conversation with Danny, sending love to Phi Talk. You all should send love to. He's been having some fascinating TikTok. We need to do, James, the hard part is just that I don't really, I guess I should, but like, I want to do TikTok live streams so I could just debate Christians, because there seems to be a lot of Christians on there. But like, apparently we're going to have to do videos that at least would get us 1,000, I don't know what they call them on there, followers, subscribers, TikTokers. We'd have to get 1,000 talks.
Okay.
Yes. James, we're getting older. This is how you know. Oh my God.
I have nothing but disdain for TikTok, so I'm not going.
I am not a huge fan. However, it seems to be a great.
T-Mobile tries to get me to add it to my phone like every 2 months. Like, Max always like, TikTok. You don't have TikTok on your phone. Like, yeah, no.
I did 2 videos which I thought were decent, and then I just forgot about it because stuff. But I probably should do more. Anyway, sending so much love. Thank you so very much, Titan. And trying to think. Anus, I remember. Oh my. I'm not sure he understood what Danny takes with him about. Yeah, and he was sitting there with his whiteboard trying to explain. I mean, it's really not that hard. Once again, I think they make it harder than it has to be, which is feminine creatures, masculine creatures. They get really upset about apparently the in-between, the gender. But like, I don't understand they don't do sex checks of anyone else. Like they never go into the store. Also, did you see in Florida that they made? Now he's going hard on the bathroom bills and all this shit. Ugh. It is crazy. But I think you said this. It'll all eventually be turned around, and then someone somewhere who had nothing to do with it will release a memo apologizing, and then everyone will forget about it and we'll go on with life. Right? That's what's going to happen?
Most likely.
But hey, exactly. We all learned a lesson at the end of the day. I don't know what that lesson is, but it's beautiful. Sending love. We made it through a single page.
There you go.
I'm sending so much love to Rachel.
Not me, tight.
Well, he's been having, some of the philosophy. I agree with James. I go hit 50-50 because I could feel the disdain James has for philosophy. And what I dislike about most of philosophy is I feel many people, especially lay people, that are just getting into it. It's so terminology rich, deep, that it makes conversation so difficult. And then it comes with the air of, oh, you don't know what that is?
Oh,
why?
That's not Bayesian analytics. That's not the right system of logic.
Now that's not to say it's not to say that there's no good uses for philosophy. I still think that you can make a hypothesis and all sorts of things. I still think that, is getting us up to science. Like I said, during the Enlightenment era, we were able to get a lot out. Just sending. Who knows what I'm even doing that for? Anyway, sending love to continuing on. And yes, by the way, the intellectual stuff, the ones I get it most, because I find that a lot of academic philosophers try to break things back down, try to speak English and try to convey these different philosophical concepts. Presuppositionalism. Oh my God. It is where I see it rotting the most, is that. Oh my God. I couldn't help it. I feel this way and I stand by it, but I repeatedly called, I believe, J. Robin, I was Gregory. I repeatedly called him a coward because he would not answer any questions. He was doing the just one more, like almost like it was just Darth, but in a different. If I didn't know J. Robin after listening to all these back and forths and conversations, you would think it was just Darth with a sound modulator.
You never know.
Oh my God, go check out Tom Rabbit. He just released a video which is like a Darth someone rock video, a presuppositionalist rock video. Go check that out. Speaking of which, there's lots of love out there. James Wolfe, we saw him in chat. We howl at the moon because it's nighttime. Oh, as well. And we saw him, I think I saw him at the MDD debate. So sending love. He's everywhere with us having fun. I have to stay very neutral when I'm at MDD. However, oh my God, just the amount of head desk I was doing. He seemed like an okay guy. It's just, it's just what the mind does. Skylar just kept asking him questions, and he would basically repeat the question and then laugh and then try to go on to something else. He didn't want to defend Christianity either. That was the other weird thing. Though I said weird, even though that's what they do a lot. Sending love to James Wolfe. Sending love to Dale Pastel. Sending love to Dale. Reminding us that we're looking for a little bit of empirical evidence. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. And if someone tells you that empirical evidence is cheating and this is a supernatural event, tell them to go themselves. Because that's the other thing, is once you put it to the test, they're like, oh, really? You wanted us to actually test it? Oh, you're just one of these naysayers. Why should we even talk to you? Of course, I believe in something 110%. Yes. But sending so much love to Dale and sending so much love to davegar, reminding us that we know the Earth is round and 4.5 billion years old. The only people who disagree with this are religious.
But if you're a mod on MDB, you can't actually pretend. You have to pretend we don't know that.
Sending so much love.
That's the thing. They kill like, oh, well, the mods, they have to be completely neutral. You have to pretend that flat Earth is a reasonable position. Yeah.
Listen,
Just look,
there are many positions.
Pride, like, oh, your mods. The mods are in chat saying mean things about the flat Earth. Well, yeah, no shit. Stop being a fucking flat earther.
It is odd that there are many flat. I try to be nice. I try to be nice to everybody, and thus I am nice to them. However, it is just an odd phenomena, the building up of flat eartherism.
I don't think pretending that flat eartherism is reasonable is being nice to them.
No, I also think this is the Wild West of the internet, and so I'm hoping, because we don't pray, James, we have to hope, and hope by hoping you work in putting in work into academia, being good parents, these type of things that society, drops off that bullshit. But sending so much love to Chris Disciple, reminding us that we have theists, we have Christians, Jews, Muslims. As long as you are skeptical about your belief system, you are part of the Skeptic and Ranting community. And also, what's up, Dale? Hi. I'll start showing things up again in a second, or I guess I can do that right now.
You could.
What is up, Ninja Brass? Ninja Brass. As well as Sigma. What's up, Sigma? What's up, Norfolk? Woohoo! Oh, yeah. Anybody can be a snob. It's very interesting, the type of certainty and the type of snobbery. I guess that really is the only way that comes with an understanding of Jesus Christ, Muhammad being the last prophet. These types of philosophies that it just gives them a Fox version of confidence. They know so much, and yet it's like studying Harry Potter. And all right, now listen. I am actually someone who will sit there on fandom.com and other wikis and, I can tell you a wide variety of facts about the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and trying to think of other geeky things. I was going to say Warhammer but I haven't actually played Warhammer 40,000. Role-playing games? We'll just go for role-playing games.
People can calculate warp speed in their head. Like,
there you
warp
go.
9.6, warp 9.5. How fast would it take to get to Pluto at warp 8?
1 potato. Very specifically. But also sending love to the two last but not least. We are sending love to Regos, who reminds us that God wants you to live a good life. And he actually didn't say get the stone the gays. Barbaretta said get the gays stoned. It was a mistranslation. I understand it's caused a lot of murders.
But too
Oh
bad,
my.
because it's like whatever.
Whatever. But yes, she is the lovely goddess of the universe, sending love to Randolph. What's up, Bryce? Woohoo! And thank you so very much, Regos. Check out our Bible study. We're knee deep in Joshua. I like to say that as often as possible. And last but certainly not least, we are sending love to Ian Davenport, reminding us that all of these apologetic arguments suck. That's the hardest question I get sometimes, James. They're trying to find a steel man, and they're like, "What do you think the best apologetic argument is?" And I would say that, I guess the deistic ones, because by their nature, they're trying to come after the us, and they're not defending a guy coming back from the dead or a guy going over the moon and cutting it, or a guy making the water separate and then talking to a burning bush.
Guy killing fig trees and
Wait a second.
shooting fish and bread out of nothing.
James, I'm fairly sure Moses was sniffing paint. That actually would explain, like, the first two stories. All right, let's put those aside. But the third?
I don't think they had paint back then. I think it was just like cow dung.
Okay, that might have been what they were doing. Maybe they were licking toads. There were in fact, you could say there were a lot of toads, a lot of frogs. I guess they were frogs.
Oh yeah, frogs everywhere. I mean, there's fucking frogs everywhere. Go be covered in frogs.
And what were we doing? We're sending so much love. Thank you, Ian Davenport and Regos and all of our Patreons, all of our channel members and supporters. Thank you, Azo, for becoming a Patreon. Really is a big help to us. But with that, I am going to be right back 1 second, and then we're going to get into the opposition viewpoint. Sniffing taint. Yes, they might have been doing that. Is it odd how much rules and regulations there are in the Bible for goats? You would think if it was just a text that was going to stand the test of time. Listen, I love goats, all right? Pet them on the head
Goats
and
were a
all.
big part of their lives.
It just, seems like God was very focused on goats. But it's okay, because it is the Goat Herder's Guide to the Galaxy. You would not expect anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other thing. Oh, I asked that all the time, Robert. Like, no one else knew how to make a boat. It was just the drunk guy with his family.
Well, you see, Amy, no, nobody had boats. They didn't really have oceans like we have today, because you see, there were no mountains, no valleys. The world was pretty much like flat, and so there weren't big oceans that they had access to, or something like that. Maybe, I guess. Yeah. You just basically have to throw out about 80%, 90% of knowledge that we've acquired over the centuries to take a literal biblical viewpoint of history. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Yeah, lots of exhaustive dissertations on goats, including genetically inaccurate information on how to breed them, how to derive certain patterns in their coat, which is actually kind of funny to see them try and explain that away. I mean, that's what apologetics really is they're basically trying to explain away why so many things don't seem to make sense, don't add up. Um, and they have to try to explain that and come up with some type of logical way to make it all work. And sometimes it's funny to watch them do that. And that's kind of what we're going to see today with this video. It's a pretty short video, one of several that we were looking at. There was another video we'll probably do shortly that has furries in it. Get ready for that one. That was the runner-up for this one, but yeah, this is a big channel. I think this video had several 100,000 views. So this is what Christians are watching. This is the information they're looking for, and this is the material they're consuming. So, hey, this is where it's at. This is what they want to know. We're going to see what level of information we get tonight. How close we get to the truth. Are we on the path of the Antichrist? Are we hot on his trail? Does he even exist? So I guess you might say by the end of the video, you might say the title of the video is clickbait, but I think that's probably just our atheistic sense. Obviously, not being able to fully understand the wisdom of the information that is being covered. So there's probably a lot of context that we're just not able to see because we don't have our God glasses on. We just don't have faith. That's what it is. You need to have faith. You need to assume it's true and then figure out how to make it work. I remember even when I was a Christian, and this would come up, and it was always so. It's like a puzzle that you're trying to put together, but no matter how it looks like the pieces fit together, or looks like they will, they just never quite seem to fit together. Yeah, you wonder why that is. Because they don't actually go together. This Christian end times narrative, this how they construct their narrative of what they think the end times are going to be, it's and how they jump around the Bible and they tie things together. It's like taking random clips from a whole bunch of different movies and copying and pasting them together to make a movie. It doesn't really go together. But they assure us, oh no, this passage here is talking about the end times. This is, yeah. So why I guess the more intellectual brand of Christianity, Catholicism, where they just basically ignore it. Not that they ignore it, but they can confess that they know so little about it that it's almost a waste of time to even try to spend any amount of time on, because it's just not going to get you anywhere. But the other branches of Christianity, they sure try. They sure never get anywhere, but they keep trying. That's why every politician that comes up is the Antichrist. Every businessman, anybody who achieves prominence at some point will be labeled an Antichrist. Elon Musk, the Antichrist. Bill Gates, the Antichrist. Vladimir Putin, the Antichrist. Barack Obama, the Antichrist. Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, all the Antichrists. Who's the next one going to be? Is it going to be Ron DeSantis, the Antichrist? I don't think anybody thinks Biden's going to live long enough to, or have the capacity to be the Antichrist. But King Charles, he's the Antichrist. Well, he's almost 80, so Prince William, when he becomes king, maybe he'll be the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that, I just want to give a shout out. As I said, there was a new book that I would, though I'm pretty sure it's not new to the interwebs. It's just new to me. And so sending love out there to Bart Ehrman. This is How Jesus Became God. Because I am now becoming interested in the fact that only a single gospel promotes Jesus as the Son of God.
I mean, that's an interpretation of it.
I mean,
John comes out and says it flat out. I guess you could say the other ones they're not as direct about it, but you could certainly make a case for it without John. But John is, of course, the most explicit, whereas Mark is the most vague. But it's an evolution. You see how it evolved from time. Mark was the first one. John was the last one.
Sure. But it would at least hint that if it's not in the first or the second, and they're not really saying, no, it just seems like something that would be important to
The story, yeah. Obviously, the story evolved over time and grew.
It seemed like it was more of a political thing, that he wanted to break away, or he at least is being charged as, a breakaway group of the Jews. That's why he was murdered. That's why I know James James is a mythicist. I just find it interesting, even if he did live, that the followers wouldn't have thought that he was the Son of God. It's just a very different Christianity from what I guess has become now.
And this is like, so Bart Ehrman would say he's not a mythicist. He believes it was real, but does Bart Ehrman believe he walked on water? No. Does Bart Ehrman believe where does Bart Ehrman think he was born? Because there's a few different answers in the Gospels that are not clear about where this individual was born. Did he walk on water? Did he raise from the dead? He would say, no, he didn't do any of that. So, okay, is this character that the Gospels are portraying, is he real? I'm not saying no, that it couldn't have been based on some dude who may have lived, or a group of people, but if they just took like a few random details out of their life and they built this fictional character out of it, to me, that's still mythicism. That's
okay. I'll take that.
You've created a fictional character by taking a few random details from some actual guy's life and just filling the rest in with stuff that never really happened.
And I will say, I mean, that seems to be what did happen, in that he was just a guy that had followers, and it wasn't until after he died that they started to really call him the son of a god.
And God himself,
And
just
God
being his own
himself.
father and his own son.
Which totally makes sense. Just too much sense making. But yes, let's get to the opposition viewpoint and have some fun. Give me just 1 second. You're going to hear the clickety clacking. Ha ha ha. Sending so much love out there. Almost ready. Let's get it up. With that, we are going to be watching a video. A Lion of Judah. He's already arrived, but people don't see it. Let's get into the fun. Actually, hold on.
He's already arrived, but people don't see it. History is moving. History is moving along a line. The world we live in is not just experiencing one random event after another. Rather, history is moving along a line. There was a beginning, and there will be an end.
Okay.
God has history
and
on a
that may
timeline.
not actually
The
be
Bible
true.
attests to this. The Bible assures us of this reality,
Well,
that we are
yeah,
moving along
right
a
to the
timeline
Bible.
of scheduled prophetic events. Now, within this timeline, we are introduced to two beasts in Revelation chapter 13. The first beast comes out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, as seen in Revelation chapter.
Okay, one beast, 7 heads, 10 horns. Lots of information already.
And
It's
does it
very
sound
helpful.
does it sound good on 1.25?
For me, it's fine.
13, verses 1 through 10. He is identified as the Antichrist. The second beast comes out of the earth, causing people to worship the first beast and deceiving them through miraculous signs, as seen in Revelation chapter 13,
Miraculous
verses
science.
11 through
Okay,
18.
so now he's just basically making claims. As this is separated very nicely, the introduction is basically Christianity 101.
He is identified as the false prophet. Today, we find ourselves on the precipice of a profound mystery, one that has stirred the hearts and minds
We
of
do?
Oh, I'm
scholars,
ready for it.
theologians,
We do?
and
Yeah.
believers throughout the ages.
All right,
It's
what
a
is
subject that reaches deep into the fabric of our faith and connects
Oh, I know. It's what's your favorite cheesecake? No. Buddha used to ask this one.
us to the unfolding tapestry of God's grand design. We are going to explore a figure that has been both feared and misunderstood, a symbol of deception and an indication of the end times, the Antichrist. But who is the Antichrist? Where does he come from? What will be his role in the climactic events that the Bible foretells?
We're
These
getting
questions
some
have led to
answers,
many
Amy.
theories, interpretations, and debates.
When I talk about Christianity being a cult, it is in many ways an apocalyptic cult. So
That's
is
fair to say. Islam?
many of the Abrahamic religions, exactly. And so it
Could
is
argue
just
Judaism.
very odd that they don't like that label, but I guess so it has such a negative connotation at this point. But
The image of the Antichrist has been painted in various ways by different cultures, schools of thought, and even within our own community of faith. Some see a rich and powerful individual, while others envision a deceptive alien figure. Could he be a political leader, a religious figure?
wait. Do you just notice? Okay, do you see how, like, if you skip a second, he just goes, it could be like a billionaire, it could be an alien, it could be a government official. Sorry,
Leader.
did you just... I know. Could be a... Oh, and I love that. I don't want to spoiler alert that, but I have something to talk about that even.
Figure, or even something connected to modern technology. These ideas, though varied, all have their own individual strengths and weaknesses. As we
And thus, I'm just going to talk about all of them. Please give me your money.
delve into this subject, I invite you to open your hearts and minds. Let's journey together into the Word of God, seeking wisdom and discernment as we unravel
Seeking wisdom, yeah,
verse
discernment.
and
We're going to
surrounding the
we're going to
Antichrist.
get somewhere today.
From the onset, I need
We're
to
going
make
to
it.
get the
I do
answers,
not
Amy.
prescribe to each.
This isn't just conjecture. We're going to get answers and wisdom from the Word of God.
I can feel the wisdom.
Okay, so
It's flowing.
shut the fuck up, atheist. We're going to read the Word of God. It's going to tell you who He is, give you at least some good information about it. Because why would God go through the
I'm
trouble
simply
if
presenting
He wasn't
information
going to
about
tell
theories that are around regarding the Antichrist. Theory 1, the rich billionaire theory. The rich
you? Elon Musk, Mark
I know.
Zuckerberg, George Soros, Bill Gates.
But I also like this because I feel like he does this in order of what's trendy. And so
Bill
he's
Gates,
just like,
he promotes vaccines. He's the Antichrist. They're the devil. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. Oh, they run tech companies, so they're collecting our data so that Satan can make sure we worship him. George Soros, he's manipulating the politics and eating Christian babies.
it's not only George Soros, it's George Santos. Both of these Georges, very
He
very
eats Christian
powerful.
babies for breakfast, Amy. It's the
And
Bible.
Not only do we sacrifice babies into a volcano, but we have actually protested so hard that Starbucks no longer allows Christmas cups. Probably. I don't know.
billionaire theory
Can't say Merry
suggests
Christmas
that the Antichrist
anymore.
Can't
will be
say
a
Merry
wealthy
Christmas
and
anymore.
influential figure.
They lock you up and fine you every
This
time.
video will be
you say Merry
demonetized
Christmas.
because we said those words.
It's true. James. I didn't want to break the TOS.
Who will use his vast resources to manipulate and control global systems and governments. Let's explore this further by exploring some passages from Revelation 13. The beast from the sea, Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 through 2. The chapter.
Once again, he's going to quote scripture in all of these, but they can't all be right. I'll tell you one thing, though. They can't all be wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
Begins with the vision of a beast rising from the sea with, quote, 10 horns and 7 heads.
Oh, as I hit
These
my
symbols
mic.
have often been interpreted to represent different nations or power structures. The theory suggests that the Antichrist, as a rich billionaire, may control these structures.
Combos on the Taco Bell menu.
I just like how it's the rich billionaire theory, as in they're using theory to mean what we mean by hypothesis, and by that we mean they're just making shit up.
Yeah, just conjecture.
Absolutely making shit up. Now, what's that doorknob head?
Possibly as the head of a global corporation or as an influential political figure with connections to various world governments. Authority and worship, Revelation chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. The beast is given authority.
Okay.
Mark Zuckerberg is going to make you worship Mark Zuckerberg, Amy.
Yeah, exactly.
Worship George Soros.
So I want to worship and the space aliens. But I'm trying to and they worship the dragon, which gave power onto the beast. And they worship the beast. Oh my God, they worshipped heavy metal, saying, "Who diddy dum." No, wait, no. It says, "Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" And there was given unto him. James, we learned in our Bible study that if they have iron chariots, they can actually defeat God. So,
right.
Bring it on, Jeebus.
Every tribe, people, language, and nation. People worship the beast, amazed by its power. This can be seen as symbolic of the influence and authority that the wealthy individual might wield in modern society. The theory posits that the Antichrist's vast wealth would enable him to shape public opinion, control media, and even manipulate political leaders. Economic control.
I mean, I can think of a billionaire that is manipulating media, and so I want to thank Elon Musk for destroying Twitter. Thank you so much. So, yes, I think if that's Herman Cain, that would be the guy who played by natural selection.
He did. Let me tell you, Amy. He did not take that vaccine. He would not. He did not take it.
I will not. I'm trying to think of that indie movie. Oh, hello, Mark.
Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 17. This passage describes how the second beast, another figure in the chapter, forces all people to receive a mark without which they cannot buy or sell. In the rich billionaire theory, this could represent the Antichrist's ability to control global economics. By holding key positions in international finance or controlling essential.
He's not controlling global economics. In fact, I'm just talking about one, but there's many. And I also have to point out, like, oh my God, very specifically, these billionaires are humans. They're just like us. All it is a bigger digit in a bank account. And so to think that they are going to be an antichrist makes no sense. Now, I will say, while we're talking about it, while we're just on number one, that the concept of an antichrist is a little silly. You just got to have like an opposition viewpoint. I guess we're just like on here, James.
Yeah.
It's all about the tension. What's up, pseudonym?
Essential technologies, the Antichrist could enforce economic policies that align with his agenda. In summary, the rich billionaire theory interprets the imagery and descriptions in Revelation chapter 13.
I will not be the first one up to Starlink. I'll buy a Tesla. I will not. I will not. I just have. Now I'm trying to remember. What is that goddamn movie? I know James will not know it because it's too freaking out there.
Tell me about it.
It's a bad movie. I say that like I'm really being snotty right now, and yet it's a bad movie.
Is it recent?
Oh my God.
How old is it?
I don't think it was that old. It was only like 10 years. The Room. Thank you, Bryce. The Room. It's just like I was obsessed with it for like a good month or so. A good year or two ago. A guy meeting people. Failed loves last. Oh. And Mark. Really, it's about nothing. It's just a bad movie. And it was just a good meme for a little while.
Aren't most movies today about nothing?
Probably. You know what's not about nothing? I stand by this. I'm not the first person to say this. So TM, whichever comedian said it first. But Seinfeld is not about nothing. He would say, now if you ask Jerry, he will say that it's about the life of a comedian. If you ask other people who are probably making the show, I think you would say it's about him being angry. What stuff pisses you off?
Okay.
I also love Larry David. Standing by Larry David. And all right, let's continue forward.
As symbolic of a wealthy, influential figure who will use his resources to gain control over various aspects of society, from politics to economics to technology. The rich billionaire theory might explain a recurring phenomenon in contemporary society.
Does it,
Once an individual amasses a fortune large enough to reach billionaire status and becomes a prominent guy, various theories
then you become the Antichrist? Is that like at 1 billion, 100 billion?
Pickens. He just buried Andrew Coalson.
What's this guy doing? He's having a nice sandwich. Just enjoying.
Like a thing of water with some lemon in it. That's like what a billionaire would drink.
Good picture, yeah. We got some good stock footage in this video. I think I told this to James as well. Of all the videos that we were reviewing, there was like one that was just like this same guy like complaining about the apocalypse in front of a table with another guy, which is not as exciting as this well-groomed, as you can see, James, just telling you, my beard meter right there. But he's got good
This
hair.
billionaire planning to
His
enslave humanity and force us to worship
Yes.
Satan.
Exactly. Right before he turns us all into robot slaves. Anyway, let's go on to number 2, because apparently you would think this would be the entire video, like the rich billionaire theory. That's what he's telling you, because that's what he thinks. But
person to the role of the Antichrist. It's almost as if every year there's a new target for these speculations. Theory
Really?
2.
also,
Alien
I
deception
love that.
theory.
Oh, I love that. Not only does he say that right then, and if you have to take a double take, but he says it at the end as well, and he like, he like cuts himself off at the heel. 666.
There is also a theory that a satanic deception will occur in the last days, where the Antichrist will present
Is
himself
there,
as an
though?
alien from another planet. This perspective emphasizes the deceptive powers and supernatural abilities of the Antichrist as described in the Bible.
I'm not
So he's gone from a
pitching.
billionaire to
because-
an alien.
Exactly. Listen, if someone says they have different ideas about how something came about. Now listen, aliens, they are within natural realm. I don't want to poo-poo the idea. Once again, I like how you just go straight to the alien as Antichrist. And why is this number 2? This is number 2, James. He's banking on aliens. Spoiler alert. He's banking on aliens before political leader. That's brave. Very brave.
It's one of the ones they talk about the most that they think is the
Really?
most likely. Yeah.
Are you telling me this channel is a Christian channel that focuses on aliens?
No, I just mean in terms of like Christian thought, like who do Christians in overall think it's going to be? The alien hypothesis it's up there. It's one of the more common ideas.
Well, we're going into it.
Historical precedents and myths. The Genesis account describe interactions between earthly beings and otherworldly entities. We, as Bible-believing Christians, know these accounts are true. It is important to also mention that other cultures mention visitors from other worlds.
Like he has to remind them that they actually believe this is
Describe
true.
interactions between earthly beings.
Like, we believe this is true.
Reminder. We believe that a guy came back from
All
the
this
dead.
bullshit.
So, aliens?
All this bullshit in Genesis, we believe it's true. Like, reminder, guys, we actually believe this stuff.
These accounts are not only intriguing, but also form a narrative that portrays these beings as influential, imparting wisdom and advanced knowledge to humans.
Sexually intriguing.
Deceptive powers and supernatural abilities.
In fact, I want to be the first to say to any of our alien, even if they're not overlords, but, you know, cooperative members that want to come down here, that if you are a legal consenting adult, you, me, my partner, a femboy, we'll make it happen.
The Bible warns of deception and powerful false wonders in the end times.
In fact, I just want to put out there that if you have to probe people, right, you should do it to the people that want to get probed. I feel like they're working against the grain when they go to the South. Or maybe they're just not being very selective in the South.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11.
Once again, though, if you're quoting the Bible, and this Bible quote proves that it was aliens, then this Bible quote's wrong. Now, I get that. I guess that has baked in that one of them would be right. However, if we're just going, you know, with what could be,
They had Titans in the South.
oh, listen, I very much do know about the South. I'm just saying, that's why I said they just need to be more selective in the South. Because I'll tell you, there's 10%, or 7 to 10% everywhere. I always get, cause it doesn't matter where the place is. I get people that in Discord who are like, "I'm in Saudi Arabia. There's no gays here." I have Googled and I found gay bars. So they always try and be like, "We don't exist anywhere." It's like, no, you just try to make us not exist, but we keep on. Do 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 do. Alien girls smell like fish everywhere. That's okay. Listen, I don't care if he or she is blue or green. If movies have taught me anything, it's that we're ready to go to town. What are we talking about? Anyway, has he very specifically he? Wait, I just noticed it is very specifically he, so it can't be a she. It can't be like a girl alien. Maybe I'm just being too pedantic, James.
Yes. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
An alien being, or a figure claiming to be an extraterrestrial, would certainly fit into this narrative of powerful deception. The allure of advanced knowledge and the supposed superiority of an alien race could prove a compelling lure for many. For a moment, just think of the shock and amazement of the world if a being from another world came to this Earth. The world would undoubtedly worship this being. Let's be honest.
No. Any being that came down and said, "Worship me," as Arn Ross said, any being that would be worthy of worship would never demand to be worshipped. Like the alien is going to come down and say, "Yes, I want you to devote your life telling me how great I am because I created you." Great. Okay, so just imagine like if you were adopted, right, and um, you're in your like 40s and you meet your biological parents and they're telling you like, yeah, we loved you, but we were going through different things and we didn't think we could have given you a good home, so that's why we put you up for adoption. You say, okay, I understand that. I'm not upset about it. You guys did what you thought was best, and I'm happy to know you. And if you want to get to know part of the family, fine, yeah. But what if they said, no, you don't understand. We created you, so you need to devote your life to worshiping us, to telling us how great we are. No, because everything you did in your life, like if an alien created us, then we had to do all this shit on our own. Like we had to figure out from the Stone Age to the Iron Age, we had to figure all this shit out on our own. So again, why would we be worshiping them? Because they were more technologically advanced than us. They were older civilization, or they evolved under more advantageous circumstances, so they could evolve much faster and become more technological faster than we did. Okay, great,
cool, but we're not going to worship you.
Right.
It worships people, and it already worships normal human beings. Look at celebrities. They are practically worshipped already. They are pretty much idols in people's lives. Now think if an alien deception were to take place, with a being coming from...
It also bothers me, once again, who do you think... I hate to just keep on hitting that political nail, because I don't care what political party you are, I don't care who you vote for, but who do you think this person votes for? If you had to just take a guess. Would it be someone who rhymes with rump? And then they talk about celebrities. What the...
They gave us tools soon, but I mean, like, what you talk about stone tools, like they gave our ancestors stone tools. I mean, okay, great. If that was the case, if the hominid ancestors, if they weren't able to figure out how to make stone tools, and the alien gods came down and gave them, okay, thank you, you gave us stone tools, you got us moving with that. They had all this technology, all this ability to to come down and help. Like we had to go through all the horrors of like the Bronze Age, uh, the plagues, um, the Inquisitions, the Holocaust, the rise of Bruno Mars, and they did nothing. They all that shit happened. They didn't come down. They didn't help us. We all had fucking Uptown Funk playing on our radios and things all day long, and they didn't do anything. Now all of a sudden they want to come down and be worshipped. Go fuck yourself.
Also, very specifically, Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up.
Suck
Okay.
my dick.
We're sending love out there. All those planets, yeah, they seem to be a little bit too close. Though I will say, Randolph, creationists aren't very big on, what's that word? Being accurate? Oh, yeah. You know, reality is just so flexible when you believe in a 6,000-year-old Earth.
From another planet, coming with the answers to the world's problems, having the solutions to the world's economic state, and having the answer to natural disasters. Imagine even coming to Earth claiming to know the origin of the Earth, or claiming to be the engineer or architect of the Earth. People will undoubtedly worship this being, and even those who go to church would be attracted to worshiping this being. The question of what brought about the Earth's origin remains unanswered according to the world. Although there is the claim that the Earth resulted from a, quote, Big Bang, the source of the Big Bang itself.
I love that. Came from a, quote, Big Bang. That's what was going on the other day with another creationist. They just...
That's a little bit of an
it.
oversimplification, you think? Well, the Earth did not come from the Big. That's because that's Ken Hovind's thing. Like, oh, the molecule was spinning around and everything that bounced off that. And then, but why do the planets spin backwards? Three of the planets spin different directions. That can't work. Well, yeah, there was a lot of shit that happened. Okay, after the Big Bang. But before our solar system formed. Our solar system, not a direct result of the Big Bang. Our sun is a third-generation star. There were two generations that existed before.
It took billions of years until our solar system came to be. Exactly, Randolph. I don't know why. This is another thing. They vote for celebrities, even though they say everyone votes for celebrities. And then they say they would worship this strong being, even though I find... So that's 3 atheists, and I reckon a bunch more would say, no, we're open to sharing technology and information and wisdom back and forth. However,
you could say, like, I mean, I guess you could make the analogy. So, like when the Europeans, when they came to the Americas, obviously they were technologically a lot more advanced, but they didn't say worship us. They did say give us your resources and such, or we'll kill you. But it wasn't about worship. They actually demanded that they did demand they worship Jesus. That was one thing. So maybe that kind of actually works, because they did want to convert them all to Christianity. So hey. Maybe that analogy doesn't even work. Hey.
Remains unknown. So there is a high probability that if alien beings arrive and give us an extraterrestrial explanation for life on Earth, the origins of the world religions, and even the origins of our planet, it would be very persuasive. To get billions of people to leave their religions and all ascribe to worship the same one will require something supernatural. And that is the truth.
It wouldn't be leaving religions for another. It would be abandoning religions because they're all not true.
Yes, and if humans went to some other religion, it would just be some other superstition. So, no and no.
Stop at nothing to gain the worship of the world he has always craved. In summary, the alien deception theory posits a complex and captivating scenario in which the Antichrist may present himself as an alien being. This theory draws on historical, theological, and cultural elements to craft a narrative that...
as well as LSD.
And by the way, like, it is, what is it? I've seen more than a couple reports that actually inside the Pentagon, there are people who don't want to research and don't want to investigate the UAP phenomenon because they think it's Satan. They don't want anything to do with it. It's all Satan. It's demonic.
Satan.
In our government. So, yeah.
I really like the South Park Satan. He's a sweet guy. That's why it's actually funny now that I think about it. But he has a romantic partner, Saddam Hussein, and Saddam just treats him so bad. It's
Atheism, like herd immunity
his heart's
against
in it.
bullshit. There you go, sweetie. Because if there was a alien race and they were biological beings, they would just be the same as us. They would be biological beings that.
And as far as I'm concerned, if they're
did.
conscious beings, they would be some sort of equivalent of like an animal. Because like if we find alien life and it's all like either single-celled organisms or plants, I get the feeling that people aren't going to be as excited. Well, I would still be extremely excited. I think most scientists would be excited, but it would be a different phenomena. And so we all imagine alien life coming to us. If it does come to us, it's a conscious creature. I don't know what else to say, unless it.
Although there probably are planets out there with life that never developed conscious life. That probably is out there. It would just be like plant-based or single-cell microorganism type life.
And you say, why would they be biological? I don't understand.
What's the other?
What means? Because that seems to be our definition of what an alien would be an analogous type of biology, right. An alien biology, or a biology from an alien world. To get rid of my.
I mean, unless you're talking about some type of interdimensional beings made of energy, which I mean, I guess you could entertain that, but we don't have anything to base that on. It's just conjecture, which you could say they could be anything. But
I mean, even if you had I'm trying to imagine that just like in sci-fi, like a gaseous life, but like even then, to have life, you would need some sort of maintenance. You would need some sort of homeostasis. Need some sort of ability to replicate. And so these are kind of defining features of biology. And so, I don't know. I'm not sure. Send so much love, student. We actually love the people that disagree with us. That's the things we want. So don't retract nothing. Or did someone else retract nothing? Yeah, I don't know. Either way,
they could be. We just don't have anything to base it on.
Also, Randolph says, you hear about the guy in 1981 who got LSD and LSDS mixed up? Instead of going on a trip, he went on a mission. Puns. And there you go. There's a Mormon pun. We just had our Mormon episode. Oh my. Now we're talking. What's up, Claus? We are talking about He's Already Arrived. And who is that specifically? Really anybody. If you guys are going to see a pattern, it's not just going to be the rich millionaire and alien. So let's continue into
the guy at the taco shop down the street. The guy washing dishes at TGI Fridays.
But isn't this just dishonest?
Your mother. Your uncle. Your great-grandfather.
Because there's someone out there that goes, yes, I knew it was the rich billionaire. And then someone else that goes, yes, I knew it was aliens. And look at that. Most replayed was right there. That's interesting. All about those worlds, those alien worlds. Oh, YouTube. Anyway, sending so much love out to the internet, and we're going to continue because, I mean, what could possibly come after Alien?
Resonates with modern fascination with extraterrestrial life. Theory number 3. The political leader theory regarding the Antichrist posits that the figure will emerge.
I just like that they're equal. I'm sorry. I like that it's just rich billionaire, political leader, alien. As if these are completely, it's just 30, 30, 30, or 33, 33, 33. Continuing. Oh, sure. No, exactly.
30 for 30. Yes.
As a charismatic political leader with the capability of uniting various nations under a single government. By offering promises of peace, prosperity, and resolution to long-standing conflicts, this individual will attract a vast following.
And
but
they
will eventually...
love this. I actually would say this is more the classic Antichrist model. Oh, baby girl.
Isn't it like they're thinking like oh, what,
lead people away
somebody
from
wants
God.
to bring in peace, somebody who wants to unite people, somebody who wants to, resolve long-standing conflicts, somebody who wants to, make people live together in peace. Like, oh, that's got to be suspect.
Exactly. Generally speaking, when you want peace and prosperity for people all over the world, that generally speaking means you want a one-world authoritarian government in which everyone lives in a 1984 dystopian future. I'm pretty sure. Basically. Oh my goodness.
How can you have peace without? How can you have peace, Amy, without Jesus, the Prince of Peace? You can't have peace without Jesus.
Something like that. He's come to make pieces.
The theory strongly connects with several biblical passages, including Daniel chapter 7, verses 23 through 25, which plays a crucial role in shaping this perspective. Let's break down Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 through 25, and analyze how it is relevant to the political leader theory. Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. Thus he said, as for the fourth beast, there shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms.
Okay, so we're at our third Bible quote. He's had a Bible quote for each one. Thus he said, as for the fourth beast, there shall be a fourth kingdom, and we shall call it Burger King. Oh, no. On earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth, because he's a nice God, and trample it down and break it to pieces. I mean, this really says nothing. And yet they build these prophecies off of these types of scripture, and they can't write. Oh, she must.
We get paid for views. Listen, we got views.
One cat in, one cat out. And okay, now we got a Penelope.
And it shall devour the whole earth, and trample it down, and break it to pieces. Let us analyze two key phrases in this verse. Phrase number 1, the fourth kingdom. Prophecy in Daniel speaks of a fourth kingdom that is unique and has the power to consume the entire earth.
Loving that stock footage, though.
As a powerful global government or entity that the Antichrist leads. Phrase number 2,
I use it myself.
Devour the whole earth. This imagery of devouring the earth might symbolize the leader's dominance over various nations and governments, possibly achieved.
It's always like a Mexican restaurant, a devoured.
I always just like it though. They're like, and then they're gonna have world peace, and because of that world peace, it will be the end of the world.
Well, okay, you can't have world. Okay, so he's gonna bring world peace, but then the cost of that is you all have to worship Satan. That's how you get world peace. We all worship
exactly Satan. The one and only way. Oh, also, podcast needs more cats. Yeah. So, baby girl, Penelope says hi, but she's probably only in here for food. But I want to give her love.
Zenith was on the show last time.
What is up?
With Chris, Disciple.
What is up, Chris? What is up, everybody? We are talking about a conspiracy in every direction. He is just doing he's doing the hits.
Military conquest, political maneuvering, or diplomatic coercion. Daniel chapter 7, verse 24. As for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall arise, and another shall arise after them. He shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down 3 kings. Let us...
Oh, well, why didn't you say so at the beginning? This doesn't say anything. Once again, using vague language to hint at something.
Could mean almost anything.
Exactly. Stock footage, computerized voice, AI script, Skynet fundamentalist.
Analyze 2 key phrases in this verse. Phrase number 1, 10 horns, 10 kings. The 10 horns, representing 10 kings or leaders, could be seen as a coalition or...
But why? There's hundreds of countries. Why would it be 10? You're just making this up as you go along.
Well, how many countries really have kings anymore anyway? Not
Speaking of which, I just have to give a shout out to another blow to flat earthers because India landed on the moon the other day. So shout out to India.
They sent a probe or a lander to the moon.
They sent a craft and they landed a craft on the moon. And so they're the 4th country to do so.
I guess they're in on the act. They're
Exactly. Which would be so random. It's just, once again, if it wasn't like an actual real endeavor by a regular country. But if it was like a political scheme, like by a worldwide government, they're like, okay, let India do it now. What year is it? Do it now.
20 years from now, North Korea, Kim Jong-un will land a rocket on the moon.
Oh my. But yes, political leaders. And it's always just insert whatever's the newest political leader.
Oh, by the way, I mean, their friend there, he had a nasty little plane crash. I would not, if I were that guy, I would not have gone within a mile of a plane. That is not very safe.
Confederation of Nations. The Antichrist's rise to power is described as distinct and significant, even usurping 3 of these kings. Phrase number 2, different from the former ones. This emphasizes the unique nature of the Antichrist's leadership, setting him apart from previous rulers, perhaps through unprecedented charisma, political skill, or ideological appeal. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25.
Isn't that why you like Jesus? That whole charisma thing? But no, I guess
that's why Satan, he's got to be a fake Jesus. He's got to like a counterfeit Jesus.
Right.
It's a
the Wish version of Jesus.
Yeah, it's like Jesus, but Satan.
He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
He shall speak
words.
The
times and the law, and they shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time.
My goddess, as he keeps on putting up like the European Union. He's got this thing with them.
He wore out the saints.
But he just has like guys continually waving, and that is his version of political leaders. Can I tell you who also does this?
Who?
Pageant contestants. So, But no, it's evil. I remind you, except for the aliens, these are all humans, right? Like, these are just us. And so I know we put these people on a pedestal. Some of them, deservedly. Many of them, not so much. And so it's just odd and obvious that this person is telling us the hits. Like, this is what we would expect from Antichrist.
Information.
Yes. But the worst part about it is, it's not like he's saying, this is my theory, or this is my theory, or this is my theory. He's saying, hey, this is what a lot of people, some people are saying out there.
Yeah,
some people think.
Some people are saying.
Let us analyze 2 key phrases in this verse.
Okay.
Phrase number 1. Speak words against the Most High. The Antichrist's blasphemy.
What? What if it's legal in that state?
blasphemous stance against God aligns with the theory that this leader will attempt to divert worship and allegiance from God to himself.
Yo, man, look at that. I like this version of stock footage.
Worship King Charles, Amy. Worship him. Do not worship
my
God.
Goodness.
Worship King. Yeah, I mean,
it is the
really,
royalty. They're so much, a part of my life.
Worship him.
Worship.
Yeah.
I would actually. It just depends on how much he's willing to pay. What are we talking about? He's already arrived, but don't see it. Also, I like this because he is making the claim in the title. You're right. This is so clickbaity. I didn't think about it like that. But he's making the claim in the title that he is here. And then who is he? Oh, well, he could be. Well, that's the introduction. He could be here. He could be here. He could be here.
Could be an alien. Could be a billionaire. Could be a.
And he has like leader. Marvel extras that just like Potshot. Just in case. Got to cover all your bases. And they all belong to us.
Or his government. Phrase number 2. Wear out the saints. The Antichrist's oppression of the faithful reflects.
See, like, I'm trying to wear him out.
Her agenda to suppress or marginalize religious faith, especially that which adheres to biblical principles.
Oh, some like crazy shit going on in the background.
Phrase number 3. Change the times and the law. This may point to the Antichrist's effort to reshape society's legal and moral frameworks, aligning them with his own values and goals rather than God's commandments. In summary, Daniel chapter 7, verse 25 is a vivid picture of a unique and powerful ruler who rises above others, manipulates laws, opposes God, and seeks global dominance.
Hi, we're trying to figure out what pizza you like the best.
These aspects are consistent with the political leader theory.
Wow, I can't believe you would say that.
Of the Antichrist, which sees him as a charismatic figure.
It was pineapple, by the way, so I don't want to start up a revolt. I'm a pepperoni fan myself, but
who unites the world under a single government while leading people away from true faith.
What is with them in a single government? Okay, like I get it. It's the affair. They all think 1984, and yet I don't think any of them have ever read 1984.
Probably not.
It's okay. War is peace, James. War is peace. We should probably keep on fighting people somewhere.
Maybe he's here to chew bubblegum and suck dick. Saw out of bubblegum.
Out of bubblegum.
The political leader theory surrounding the Antichrist has fostered a recurring pattern in modern discourse. This theory might explain why, whenever an individual rises to become a major political leader and garners significant public attention, various theaters emerge postulating that this leader or that leader might be the Antichrist.
Yeah.
As if every year, of a new political figure, the conjectures are renewed and refocused.
Do you hear that? Do you notice how he's like cutting himself off here?
He's kind of like, saying what he's doing, just conjecturing, just.
A new political leader comes out each, few years, and they all rush to call him the Antichrist. Anyway, I'm gonna write like a good few minute chunk blocks on why that's
but it was totally
true.
Ronald Reagan. It's Ronald. Oh no, wait! It was George, the first George Bush. It's totally him. Oh no, now it's Bill Clinton. He is totally the Antichrist. Having sex in the Oval Office. That's Bill Clinton. He's Satan himself.
It was.
I don't think anybody thought it was George. Maybe Dick Cheney, because Dick Cheney will kill George W. Bush and assume the presidency, and he's Satan incarnate.
Also, the Jordan Peterson has been calling for a global Christian government and all that. Can I tell you who also calls for a global Christian government and all that? The guy. Remember, I was like, James, I'm like, I don't remember this dude's fucking name. Well, now he's the guy that in those Republican candidates, they're the guy who put him center stage. That guy is a Christian nationalist. He doesn't talk about any of that stuff. And it scares me that people like him. What's that?
You saying he was at the Republican debate?
Oh, he was the middle guy. He was the guy in the middle. That Vigi guy or whatever. that they're all going rave and they're all like make him VP and all that. He's a Christian nationalist. He wants to did all sorts of things. He wants to get he wants to get rid of the Department of Education, the IRS, the FBI, all this other stuff.
Is that him? No.
Yeah, I think so. He's like in 10th. He is 10% right now. Hold on. Where's my 365? Bum, bum, bum. You're gonna hear me click because everybody likes to hear clicking.
They'll deal with
it. Polls. I'm only gonna say his name so to draw awareness against it because I hate that I'm giving him thing. Yeah, Ramaswamy.
I always thought he was like one of the more moderate ones.
Yes, as long as you are up for Christianity everywhere. He wants
Christian government.
A Christian government. He thinks that it should be, we were founded on a Christian nation. He wants to eliminate the vast majority of public programs.
Oh, they all say that.
He does not have good views. He is horrible. I don't know a other way to say it. He I guess he does okay on the debate stage, but I have not heard anything that he says. Yes, horrible ideas. And he is running for VP. They're all running for VP because none of them are going to beat Trump. Trump would have just, I hate to keep on going back. It would have. He did. He that would be very interesting, wouldn't it? It would have just weakened him to be at the debates. He would have just, because I think that he's his only thing that he has now is celebrity. That's the one and only thing.
He's like the front runner, like only he could take himself down, I guess.
Yes, it is him. It is his to lose because celebrity is the most important thing in this country. There's no other way to say it. And so, continuing forward, he's already arrived, but people don't see it. Wasn't Jesus Christ a socialist, providing free food and free health care to poor people? I hear that sometimes, Randolph. I get that viewpoint more than the quote unquote Republican Jesus or the conservative Jesus or whatever. Well, he was a radical of his time and pissed off conservatives. That's why he died.
They would say, like, well, no. Jesus was about private charity. He wasn't about government doing all that stuff. It's about neighbors helping neighbors and people not being forced by the government.
The guy who said, "Sell everything, leave your family, and follow him." I disagree with a lot of what Jesus is teaching. However, he seemed to be a hippie-ish of the time. It's why he wasn't the Messiah, and I mean that to be the King of the Jews, not the Son of God, but the man to take back, very specifically man, the guy to take back Israel from occupied land. Occupied people. I'm trying to think the right word. But he did not because he died. And so he was not the Messiah. However, they rewrote it. They retconned it. And they're like, you know what? Dying actually proves he's the Messiah even more. And so,
but he had to rise from the dead, so we got to put that into this story.
Yeah. Which you got to have those miracles, James. It's really about the special effects, okay? I mean, come on. You can have all these sorts of movies, but you got to have really like an explosion or something like that. Jesus had a lousy every now and then. I also just want to point out, wearing a dress, long hair, just seemed to be attracting a bunch of guys. I mean, work it, girl. Work it.
Each time there is a new president or key political leader, there's an influx of people stating reasons why that particular figure could be the Antichrist.
What the... Also, I like how he doesn't put this at the alien. He doesn't put this at the rich billionaire. Well, he kind of did. But
every time there's an alien,
he's cutting himself off at the heels here. Which, kind of also goes to show you why he's a scam artist. Because once again, title does not match description.
It's clickbait.
In one form or another, the Antichrist will become a political leader to rule
Will
the
he,
world.
though?
Now, I'm going to state some other theories regarding the Antichrist. However, I will not go into as much detail as I have done for the first
Oh,
three.
so much detail. So much detail.
And which ones do you think that he'll go into less detail about, James and audience? What do you think? I mean, he had all this time to cover economics, we'll call science fiction, and then politics. And so, I mean, come on. What do you think is the time that he's really going to,
I mean,
nail down into this little bit?
It's clearly going to be the Pope, Amy. The Pope is going to go to the Temple Mount, declare himself the Messiah of the Jews, and demand that the Jews worship him as their Messiah. I mean, come on, that makes so much sense. Can't you just imagine that happening? The Pope of the Church, yeah, it's the Pope all along.
And what we will say that if your guess was religion, then you would be right.
Theory number 4, a religious leader theory. Another theory posits.
Once again, look how small this is. I'm sorry. I'm not judging. Okay, it's about the motion of the ocean. Rachel would say I'm lying right now, but let's just pretend it is. And we'll talk about religion.
That the Antichrist will be a religious leader who will create a one-world religion using deceptive miracles and signs.
What is with their one world everything? It's a one-world religion.
Well,
what if it's a one-world religion and not a one-world government?
I mean, I guess the text seems to indicate that, but I mean, their concept of the world at the time was a lot smaller than our concept of it. So, I mean,
that's what we thought too. See,
that's
why we're gaining information.
Reagan, it was Reagan, but then it became Bill Clinton, then it became Dick Cheney. Then Obama, it's got to be Obama. Maybe it's Trump. Who knows? Can't be Biden.
Once again, and listen, this is how I think that you should know that I guess this is the weakest form of credibility I'm about to stabilize ever. Okay. But nonetheless, I'm gonna say it. You notice all the shit that I've been talking about a very specific reality television. Well, let's go really at the nail. He's not the Antichrist, okay? Because there is no Antichrist. He's a human. Just like all the other people I've been talking about. Doesn't matter how much you dislike someone or like someone. And so, my Lord, I guess I don't have one. I always find that terminology a little bit odd, too. Lord and Savior, James. But yes, no one is the Antichrist, but let's get on to religion.
This view emphasizes the spiritual deception described in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 3 through 4. Theory number 5.
Wow. James.
That was quick, huh?
I was going to say, like, maybe it was his first time covering religion,
But this is next one because he's been going over the European Union. Now he's going to say the rebuilt Roman Empire. He's been showing stock footage of the EU for how long?
Like I said, he has this thing with the EU. He has this thing with...
So, yeah, it's going to be the reincarnation of maybe Julius Caesar, maybe Napoleon, maybe Charlemagne. I don't know.
Charlemagne the God? Great guy. Great host and interviewer.
Carl Dare.
What are we talking about? We're rebuilding the Roman Empire. Apparently. I don't know how this is in politics. You're right. This is I guess this is history? Is he trying to classify? I don't know. Once again, this is our poo-poo platter. This is our buffet. That too.
Rebuilt Roman Empire theory. Some interpreters of biblical prophecy
argue
that the Antichrist will arise from a revived or rebuilt Roman Empire, often associating this with the European Union or other Western entities.
Are they?
This theory
Look,
is often
he
tied to the
actually said it.
interpretation of the beasts in Daniel chapter 7 and Revelation chapter 13. Theory number
You've
6.
just been quoting all these things that say beasts. What's with you and beasts?
Apostate
Beast
church
mode.
leader theory.
Apostate church leader theory.
Is this like the religious leader theory?
Yeah.
Kind of.
It could have been that, but now we
This
have...
is like the traditional Catholic where they
Exactly.
say that the Catholic Church has been taken over by Satan.
If anything, what we're noticing or witnessing is he's going after general theism, and now he's like, hey, Christians, other Christians not in my denomination.
Some believe that the Antichrist may emerge
Some people
from
are
within
saying.
the Christian church, representing an apostate form of
However, not as much as apparently as these people. A lot more of these people. But sure, some people over here.
Christianity
Worship the
that
Pope.
denies essential doctrines. This view draws on passages that speak of apostasy or
Oh
false
my God. It's Inception or Spider-Man or Doctor Strange.
falling away in the end times. 1 Timothy chapter 4 verses 1 through 2. Theory number 7. Technology.
Woo! Also, I love this. Look at this. We're on theory number 7. If you... James, if you can't find an Antichrist for you here, I feel like you can't find an Antichrist anywhere. You're just being too picky.
There's Antichrist for everybody.
Exactly.
And AI theory. With the growth of technology and AI, some contemporary
AI,
theories propose
just
that the
throw it
Antichrist
in there.
could
Why
be connected
not?
with or even embodied in an artificial intelligence system. This theory focuses on the deceptive and controlling aspects of the Antichrist as described in Revelation.
Wow, just poisoning the well there. Why? Because all AI have to be manipulative and stuff like that. Jessica Smith, manager, turned to Canada. Oh, we claim Canada.
Now that we have looked at the different theories regarding the identity of the Antichrist, it is important to note that although the Antichrist
did.
himself has not yet arrived here on the world stage yet,
What?
Really?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Can we hear that again?
it is important to note that although the Antichrist himself has not yet arrived here on the world stage yet,
What is the title of this?
Huh.
That's kind of weird, and yet it's like almost at the end of the video. That's kind of
All
funny.
that
Of a
watch
20
time,
minute
Manny. All the
video.
views, all that watch time. You get a line, I'll get a poll. We'll go fishing for views from gullible Christians.
It really is insulting. And you know, if you just maybe you believe in this one or this one or this one and you stop watching and you don't hear any of this, but I just love how he's like long thing of why this is, but not really. Well, he didn't do that for aliens, but long thing of why this is, but not really. And then he kind of does that a little bit for
It could be
these.
that, could be a religious leader. It could be AI. It could be the Pope. Could be.
It's everyone, okay? At this point, we have covered almost everybody. But cool.
What is this like? Oprah's. You're the Antichrist. You're the Antichrist. You're the Antichrist. You're the Antichrist.
And if you look under your seat, we have another Antichrist. Holy. Yeah.
his spirit is undoubtedly here, working to
Oh, it
prepare the
is.
way
The
for his
Antichrist today talks with Dr.
It is crucial
Phil.
for us to be vigilant and discerning, understanding the signs and guarding our hearts against his influence. The Bible warns us of the Antichrist. In 1 John 4 verse 3 it says, But
It gives
spirit
us
that does
such great warning about him that
Oh my god. What I like about this video is just how specific it is.
right, like he warns us. I mean, it's a very specific warning. It's
Exactly.
you know,
Well, now I know to look at who out for. We just have to look out for rich billionaires, political leaders,
aliens.
religious leaders, the Roman Empire, the apostate church leaders, and of course, aliens. So, yeah, I mean, besides that,
Not
nobody.
saying I told you so, but I told you so.
Ridiculous.
Acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming and even now is already in the world. As we look around the world today, it becomes apparent that we are indeed heading in a specific direction, and there are signs that the spirit of the
Antichrist will have cities stacked on top of each other.
Well, I mean, that is, in essence, a ripoff recent Marvel movies. I'm sure someone else did it before them, but I mean, I've seen that type of technique. It's cool and amazing. Conception did it before before all of them, and so yeah, still cool, but it's not convincing me of an Antichrist. It's convincing me that you are replicating 3D models and then rotating them.
Becoming more emboldened. It is crucial for us, as believers, to recognize these signs and respond with discernment and faithfulness to God's word. One of the prominent indicators of the Antichrist spirit's
actually too many signs
influence is the increasing prevalence of secularism and the rejection of God's moral principles. We witness a rising culture of individualism and self-gratification.
I like that at the very end, kind of finally
self-gratification. Yeah, because Amy, your whole life, it's not about you. You don't matter. You're insignificant. Nothing you want matters. It's all about God. It's all about worshiping Him and telling Him how great He is. How dare you want goals and dreams? And
another one I get, you just want to live in sin. That's all you want to do, day in, day out. Live in sin. And
just want to live.
I just want to live. Also, it depends on your version of a sin, because if sinning is just offending a God, then I would say oftentimes we do.
You don't want some non-existent being making up arbitrary rules, telling you who you can be.
Yeah, don't think so. I think I'll pass. Also, send love, Robert.
And coercion. Thanks, Robert.
Slicey Slicer, Darren, what is up? What is up, everybody? We're almost at the end. He's just basically about to, I think, cut himself off the heel again. I forget. I think he basically at the very end is like, but who knows if any of these are real? Which he kind of just
could be none of these. Could be all of them.
He just said that the Antichrist is not on Earth, which is the polar
He's not
opposite.
On the world stage, which means he could be here, but nobody would know who he was at this point.
But it would be like titling this "How to Have a Sugar-Free Diet," and at the end, the final recipe is sugar.
Oh, like those videos that say easy 5-minute dessert, no oven or whatever, and then the video is like 15 minutes long. It's like,
yes,
but you said 5 minutes, but the video is 15, and there's shit you're not showing, so it would even be longer. But no, it's 5 minutes.
Don't worry, we're going to get that all in 5 minutes. Well, we got it all in 7 theories, so it's kind of cool.
Where people prioritize their desires above all else, often disregarding the well-being of others. This egocentric...
No, that's not really what secularism is about. That's a straw man. We are about having a neutral system of ethics and morality and fairness, really a legal system by which we just don't include or exclude religion. You can have whatever you want. Just government stays as government. Crazy idea, I know. However, it works. So please keep your religion out of government. And then you can have your own religion at home. No one's going to come to you. If you want to go praying in the park on a sunny day, on a rainy day, go do it. No one's stopping you. Unless you're in certain countries, in which case they dislike your religion, and then they will stop you. Our religion. But yes, we're about to wrap up, and then we're going to do some open miking. And yeah. And then we're going to all pick an Antichrist. We're going to all get our own Antichrist.
Mindset is in direct contrast to the selflessness and love taught by Christ. The Antichrist spirit thrives in a world that puts human desires above God's divine plan, leading people away.
Yes, and I just want to give a PSA. We
With
should
your
put.
desires above God's
Yes.
arbitrary.
I think you should put human
Barking
and other
out.
animals. Please treat your other animals well, and we should all put them above a god. Yes.
From the path of righteousness.
The spirit of the Antichrist is here today, working in our
Is it,
world.
though?
The Apostle John
And wait, you just said it wasn't. Oh, it's the spirit, maybe? But the physical form, James, that's not here yet.
spoke of the Antichrist and many precursors. He indicated that the final Antichrist will be preceded by others who prepare his way.
The final
all
Antichrist.
energized.
This isn't even my final form. Holy.
By the same Spirit. Just as believers can be filled with the Holy Spirit, people can be influenced by the spirit of the Antichrist. Society has
The
been moved
spirit of the Antichrist. So now we're being manipulated by Satan and the Antichrist? Man, God's got it hard. Now it's 2v1.
moving away from the Lord Jesus Christ, embracing anti-God sentiment. This shift is evident in the growing lawlessness mentioned in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7, a trend becoming more pronounced with time. My grandfather recalled finding Bibles in classrooms in America and hotel rooms in the United Kingdom during
Oh, see, and the pining of Christian, theocracy and nationalism. Yeah, we're secular.
his time. But the influence
We
of the
used to
Antichrist
teach the
spirit is
Bible
growing.
in school,
Bibles are
and
disappearing from public
the kids
spaces.
would read it in class, and those were the good old days when they would just read the Bible. Now they want to do like actual science,
And now they learn science, history, and math. It's a crazy concept.
no, it should be the Bible.
Should be the Bible, and only the Bible.
The fear of God is declining globally as the spirit of the Antichrist
Woohoo.
prepares the way for the man
I
of
have
sin.
always found that phrase creepy. Just the
The
fear of
is
God.
the beginning of wisdom.
Ugh.
I'll put the fear of God in you.
How is that a loving God? I know that they have Stockholm syndrome, so they think like, I guess in a way that's the way he loves you, but that's horrible.
They think their idea of parenting is that you beat the crap out of your kids every time they look at you wrong, and so they're like, well, a loving parent, of course, they're going to beat their kids anytime they. So yeah, you fear them when you do something wrong, but that's good because they think that's the only way to make somebody who will not be an asshole.
And a PSA to those parents, that is terrible.
People may think the Antichrist must overhaul the world, but in truth, when he arrives,
I
the
love
world
this.
will.
I don't know if it's a defeatist attitude. It's him coping or what this is, but
already be prepared for him. The spirit of the Antichrist is here today and is working in our world. There is a general decline in the fear of God all across the world, and the reason is simple. The spirit of the Antichrist.
People realizing he's not real.
Information.
Christ is preparing the way for the man of sin to arrive. People have this strange perception that when the Antichrist arrives, he will have to overhaul the world and make a major shift in the way the world operates. But that's not what will happen. When the Antichrist arrives onto the world scene and takes center stage in society, the world will be ready and prepared for him.
That's right, baby. See, once it's been twisted and turned by the Antichrist, people will like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's going to be scary. Super scary.
Be horrible.
But yes, with that, we have finished the opposition view from Lion of Judah. He's already arrived, but people don't see it, in which we watched a video in which he claimed that the Antichrist is not here. I'm going to keep on harping on that point. Like, you are selling sugar to diabetics. I really don't.
I mean, it could be one of these 7 category. We don't really know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's one of these. We don't know. But we thank God for giving us this warning, this information. that he has given us that we can rely on to
Exactly,
be able to,
but we have to be aware that it could be any one of those 7, James. A small number. Any one of those,
it
once
could
again.
be something else. It could be a combination of the 7. It could be a religious leader from the revived Roman Empire that is a billionaire. I mean,
You also need to watch The Boys, which is a fantastic TV show in which the superhero team is called the 7. But the fantastic thing about The Boys is the superheroes are kind of evil. And so it's like kind of trying to take them down. It's good. I'm going to make you geeky, James. You just wait. Slowly but surely. You're like,
I'm waiting.
Oh. And with that, as my headset falls off, I'll do this and I'll unban a very flowery, sunny person while I did, because I was too into the video while we were watching it. See, I never notice if the dead air is better than the clicky clacky. Come join the panel. This Mark told me how to do it, but then my driver wouldn't update, and so I need to figure out. Sending love to Mark Reid. Should I be checking out Mark Reid Atheism? I should be figuring out how to get that thing.
Titan's got that right.
He's not an ugly guy, and yet I just find, I don't know. Like, I like mythic structure, and then I find him dishonest a lot of times on some other parts. Like, he just thinks that we are all, if you're an atheist and you have morality, he just thinks that you are a believer. And I find this to not be a honest position. Well, we already got our first person. And so we are going to go into the open mic. We are talking, he has already arrived, but people don't see it. I really don't understand the concept of an antichrist. It just, all these demons and creatures, it is like a sitcom. The fact that he's even the son of a god, it has always just been a very strange concept.
Well, that was the next thing in my list, other than end times things, were videos of Jordan Peterson saying stupid things.
Really? Yeah. We haven't really conquered or tackled any of the social stuff. I probably could tackle more of the woo-woo-woo.
He's telling Bill Maher the story of Jonah the whale. He uses the story of Jonah the whale to defend the whole veracity of the Bible. As he's like, there's hidden meanings and messages in it. Yeah.
It's got to decode it. Once you get through all of the murder, it's beautiful. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to pin this up, and then we're going to bring in our first person. Join the panel. There it is. So sending love to Robert and sending love to all of our mods, really. I see Titan and Randolph and Sumami and Doorknob Head and everybody out there. Sending love to you. If I didn't say hi to you yet, say hi to me and we'll say hi to you. Sending thank you for all the super chats, all the love, and we're going out to it. We are going into our Skeptic and Ranting open mic. Speaking of stock footage. Woo! What is up?
Hey, how are you?
How are you? I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, not bad, not bad. The only difference is we're in the PM, not AM.
You're here in the PM, not the ooh. That's because you are flipped on the other side of the world.
Well, isn't that the other way around? We're
That's
at 4
true.
PM. What do you got?
We are in 2 a.m. So technically you're in the future.
Whoa.
But they're on the southern hemisphere.
makes
Shouldn't
me
they
the
just slide
Antichrist.
right off the planet?
I think
No,
so.
I can't do that. I got hooks in me. Yeah. But, yeah, no, it's very interesting. I mean, anybody that wants to listen to God and listen to Jesus, in some places they say it's the same person. Some say it's not the same person. Some say there's three of the bloody things. But let me ask this then. Is it one, is it two, or is it three? But
It's
all I know is 90% of people go, two.
Depends on how many coupons you have.
Oh, who bought one? Who paid for those things?
It says in John 14:28 that I go unto the Father, for the Father is greater than I. So you see, the Father, who is the Son, is greater than the Son, who is the Father. Because then it says in John 10:30, I and my Father are one. So that just shows that God is Jesus, Jesus is God. They're the same thing.
Well, that's not confusing at all, is it? One saying,
perfect sense.
Yeah, we're together. The other one's going, no, we ain't. You know, I mean, as like in all things. You grow up, you got your dad, you got your mum, you got your son, you got your daughter. Yeah. But when you grow up later, is that your son? No. Especially this bloke. He spent Easter hanging around the bloody cross, didn't he? And if you're in Australia, that means he hung around with prostitutes.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we're talking.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Really? I mean, who actually believes that sort of stuff? And when you speak to these Christians and they go, oh, we got it from the Bible. And then you say, yeah, but which one? No, they don't know. It all depends on which Bible they pick up. Each one's got a different story. Each one's got a different heading. It makes me so confused. It really does. But when you look at it the other way around, who cares? Once you're dead, you're dead. And here's the good part, too. You can either get done as in put in the ground and covered up, or you get out the other way and they burn you. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, he kind of wants you to love him. And if not, you go into that really special warm place.
Yeah, but then again, that place is actually written in the Bible. Does anywhere in the Bible says you're going to hell? Anywhere? Where's that written?
Very roundabout ways of saying it, yeah.
Yeah, there's roundabout ways, but he doesn't say it. Nowhere in the Bible says, do it or you're going to hell. Nowhere. And if you listen to the Catholics, you're going to end up in between somewhere, which is in purgatory, which also isn't written in there. Waiting for what? What exactly are you waiting for? You know what I mean?
To be purged of your sin so you can enter heaven. You see, because it says nothing unclean can enter heaven, but if you die with sin on your conscience, then you have all the sin, you can't enter heaven.
Well, I got to ask that again. I got to ask that again. Define sin. What sin might be for one person is fun for another.
According to the church, it would be anything that contravenes the laws of God.
And who's ever heard the words of God? Who has God spoken to?
The people that wrote the Bible.
And my pizza delivery guy.
He told them what to write.
Well, you speak to what's his name, that one that got taken up to heaven because he had a big mouth, or got taken up in a spaceship somewhere, maybe. And there's 3 or 4 of them.
Captain Kirk.
I can't think of his name right offhand. You know, he didn't really make much of an impact anyway. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's the same as this Noah's Ark thing. Right. How old was this Noah bloke?
600, 500.
And he went out and made a big boat, didn't he? Yeah, that's what he did.
I mean, it took him 100 years to make it, so he would have had plenty of time.
Yeah, nail by nail by nail. Yeah, that's right. And actually, when you think about it, if all these animals were in there, right? How many of them like chewing on the other animals?
Well, you see, all the animals were vegetarian on the ark.
Were they? Yeah.
They were all vegetarian. They only ate meat after the flood.
That's what I'm saying. Before you were vegan, you were eating meat, but once you become a vegan, you don't want meat anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, this sounds
After the
wrong,
flood,
doesn't it?
God said they could eat meat.
Did he? And who did he say that to?
Very
He told the
specifically,
animals.
my dad. Oh, and the
He
animals.
told the animals. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask a question then. How many different nationalities were on that ark thing?
4.5, because the giraffe people were a bad experiment.
Actually, I thought that was a platypus. But then again,
That works too.
you seen a platypus, have you?
I have, but we thought it was a demon and hunted it into. Yeah.
No. We got that in Tasmania. They're called Tasmanian devils.
It's a crocoduck.
A crocoduck. Oh, yes. Crocoduck. Yeah. But, getting back to the subject there, there's Antichrist stuff. Who would know if there's such a thing even turning up? Or if he's already here, where in the hell, there you go with that word again, is he? Or is it a she? Nowhere in the Bible does Antichrist suggest, say, or even point at that it may be a male. It could well be a female. And if it's a female, well, everyone's looking in the wrong place, aren't they?
Depends on which verses you're looking at, and which ones you think apply to the Antichrist. So there's a lot of ones that they use that the reference might not be so clear.
Are you up? Do you know the North theology stuff? When Odin turned up on Earth to get rid of the snow people or the ice giants, he turned up in a chariot with what? Horses. And in Revelations, it also says he's got to turn up in a chariot being dragged out by horses. Now, which one's correct?
Neither, I'd say. Probably neither.
Yeah, well, like the old saying, only time will tell. That's all it is. Only time will
That's the
tell.
thing. We never really get anywhere. None of this ever actually happens. It's always just, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, nobody can actually prove that it happened, and no one can prove that it didn't happen. So it's an each way bet. Flip a coin, pass the butter, pass the Vegemite, or whatever you want to pass, and above all, send them a pizza full of pineapple.
And what are we doing with the pineapple?
That's
Chris
up to
says,
you.
does Satan exist? That's the question.
Yeah,
Does
there's too many
Satan
questions.
exist?
There's just too many questions about it. There really is. To be quite honest, let me ask you two. How many of you were brought up in a Christian environment?
Well, I was. Amy was Jewish, so.
Okay. Amy?
Yes.
She was.
I was brought up in the
The other
Old
side
Testament version. Yeah, the Torah and the Talmud. I didn't read the Talmud. I'm pretty sure they just passed that around like a scarf and something. Like
Yeah.
the same with really the same with the Torah.
Look
Yeah.
at it. It's just a bunch of the writings of old rabbis.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about a conflicting point of views. My father was Roman Catholic. My mother was Lutheran. My grandmother was what they called Old Germanic Lutheran. And I was brought up in the Congregational Church. Is that conflicting?
On various levels, yeah.
Yeah.
Denominations don't like each other.
Yeah, no, they can't handle each other, you know. Especially if you
can't
read
handle
what's that one particular passage? You know, it says something about you shall not bow down to idols, you shall not have images, you shall not have this, you shall not have that. Well, that reminds me of the Catholic Church. Come on. And it also says to you, right? Thou shalt not have any other gods besides me. So therefore, there's more than one so-called God. And if there's more than one so-called God, there's got to be more than one so-called anti-God or anti-Christian.
I'm
You're
trying
talking
to think.
about the polytheism that existed in the Old Testament. That's very true. God didn't get to be, he didn't start claiming he was the only God till well into the story, which really tells you a lot about, you'd think if that was the case, he would have said it right away, but no. We got to wait till we're about halfway in.
Yeah.
That also sounded like a fun band. The band is fun.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, the whole era at that time was exactly that. It was a hell of a lot of fun. Let's go out and kill somebody. No, you have to wait for permission from to do that. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, what I want you to do, you lot there, go over there, get rid of that lot over there. And while you're over there, do you mind, please, if you don't mind, just sort of splitting the ocean so, these people can come through and we'll get rid of this lot over here and we'll all have peace and quiet. Ta-da.
Peace and quiet. Are you working for Satan?
Who?
You're working
I
for
work
Satan,
for
right?
Satin.
Peace.
50% softer.
No, you're working for Satan.
Who is?
Amy.
Me? Well, I don't work for anybody. I'm retired.
You still work for Satan.
No, I don't think so. Because when you look at it the other way, in the so-called Garden of Eden, they said the serpent gave the apple. The serpent is who? If the serpent is Satan and God himself wasn't able to get rid of Satan, well, how great is he then? He can't be that good.
Well, you see, he had to give him a choice. Yeah. So originally, it was just a snake.
But you have a look. Okay, if that's correct, only a snake. Have a look at all the doctors. Have a look at everything else. They all got snakes in their things, on their staff, on the medical.
Oh, that's from the.
I'm sorry. Did you just say snakes and things?
Yeah.
That's from the story of.
He's a lovely little fella, isn't he? I love his red tongue.
Oh no! There was a story when God's people, they were complaining, and so God felt like to teach them a lesson, he would send lots of venomous snakes to go bite his people, and so the people got bit by the snakes and they were dying, and then whoever the leader was,
that could have just been on the way. That doesn't mean, that does not tell me or anything else that God sent those. I mean, have a look.
Of course, he said he did. He said he did. But So
But
God
says
sent
to
the
who?
venomous snakes to his prophet. And
No.
they bit the people, but then the prophet went to God. God, the people are dying. Okay, some of them are dead. We learned our lesson. And so God said, okay, so we'll make this snake around the pole, and anybody who looks at it, they won't die. They won't die if they look at the bronze snake around the pole.
No, hang on. God himself said, if any man, any mortal being sees my face, hears my voice, will die.
But
Did he
yeah,
not
they're
say
looking
that?
at a bronze snake. Yeah,
No,
snake around the pole.
Did he not say that?
Well, he says that. Otherwise, he does say that people saw him. But
Yeah. And did they die on the spot? No. And how come in the same era, in that particular same little section there, when Moses went up there, why did he go on his own?
well, I mean, God's not going to meet with. He wasn't ready to meet with all of them yet. He just needed. He was just talking to Moses. That was his friend, kind of like his best friend. Amy.
No.
Do we know a guy who's God's?
Oh, we
God's
definitely
best friend?
do. But we know a guy who was also Satan's best friend, apparently, because we know someone who has, how should we put this lightly, who has had good relationships with God, and then we know someone who has a very good relationship with benefits with Satan. And so,
Her name was Lilith.
I feel like these two people need to get together and have a foursome.
Who has sex with Satan?
Lilith.
The guy that we came on who he didn't want to you remember he edited that video, he uploaded. It was like a guy.
Oh, right. The pastor, the exorcist guy.
And he knew that sounded silly. That's why he didn't upload our
He said, I mean, Bob Lars said, yeah, he's real. I mean, I just don't feel the need to, like, hold a crucifix and dress up like a priest. But other than that, I mean, I guess it's real.
Well, the good part is, here's something that people aren't going to like me much shortly. I'm just about finished writing the Gospels according to Zenith. Well, that comes out.
I'm sure they can't wait.
Yeah, I know they can't wait.
With bated breath.
I am going to be canceled before it gets started. You watch.
Oh.
Yeah. And at least you're lucky, because at least in America, we can talk like this. I can't talk like this in Australia.
Why not?
Because there's no such, you can't do it.
Well, very specifically because Australia doesn't exist, and it's because NASA is controlling both. They made up them in New Zealand. That's why the Earth is flat. I'm pretty sure.
It's the Freemasons,
right? No?
Amy. It's the Freemasons.
That's right.
Yeah.
Soros is about the thing we did. No. We've been just dealing with a lot of flat earthers. The Earth is an oblong sphere.
Well, answer me this then. If Australia and New Zealand don't exist, why are they trying to want us?
Because NASA won't allow it.
So who won't allow it?
NASA. See, very specifically, they say that NASA created Australia and New Zealand. They are products.
Really?
They do. I say this. What's weird is we're so. What is the word, James? Not immune, but like numb to it. I don't know what the exact word.
I mean, Amy, the southern hemisphere does not exist, basically, because they would just slide right off the Earth. They would fall right off.
No. We can't do that, because let's say Australia didn't exist, right? Well, then where am I now?
Very specifically, you are in some FBI or CIA or sounds wherever Soros or
Stanley Kubrick,
the aliens allow you. Exactly.
Yeah, but
one world government religion. What else could be one world? One
but
word
that's,
something.
We could see Satan walking around behind you at some point.
no. That's worse than that. That's my partner. Woo.
Worse than Satan, huh?
Oh yes. Are you married?
Divorced.
Yeah. Well, that's one monkey off your back, isn't it?
There you go.
And what about you, Amy?
I do have a lovely partner, and we'll always say the same thing. We're always looking for fun. What are we talking
Cadre
about?
of
Oh yes. Oh yes. Well, see that now. There's the point, isn't it? Right now, we're all looking for a bit of fun, a bit of love, a bit of help, a bit of blah blah. You know, as long as everybody's kind and happy with each other, this other stuff doesn't need to be here.
Exactly.
No, it's all about God. It's all about denying yourself and living for God.
No. What that's got to do with you're nice to me and friendly to me and loving to me, I'm the same to you. Simple. You know?
Does
You
seem
want,
pretty simple.
if there's people out there that want to give me shit, well, I hope you're good because I'm going to give it back to you. You know? But there's too many, how can I put it these days? They're too easily offended. You know? There was a time when you walk down the street and you drop your guts or something, and someone goes, "Oh, did you do that?" But
And it's
now,
them. Oh, I say them as if it's like black and white, but it does seem like it is the religious people that have been very offended by everything in the past. For years and years hearing how we're snowflakes and all this stuff, it does just seem that everything just, oh my God.
It's cancel culture, which
yeah,
I have to remind Amy of that because the news clip I sent of you remember back a couple months ago the rock star Kid Rock
Oh, yeah, exactly.
bought a bunch of Bud Light to shoot up with a machine gun, automatic weapon, shoot up all the cans of Bud Light because they had the audacity to put a T-girl on one can of Bud Light, and then lo and behold, it was a couple months later when the cameras. He didn't think the camera was on him. And what's he drinking, Amy? What's Kid Rock got
drinking?
In his hand? Drinking a Bud Light.
Redwater Light.
and here's the good part about that: we don't even have that garbage here.
It's just very odd.
You're rich, Amy. You have millions of dollars. You can drink basically whatever you want to drink, and the most thing you can drink is fucking Bud Light. Really?
But
you got all the money, and you got millions of dollars. You can drink whatever you want. You drink Bud Light.
But can you imagine how many campaigns have just gone on throughout the years? Say you do 2 or 3 campaigns a year. You've been going on for 20 years, and so you've probably put 100 faces on your beer. And so you're just going to freak out because of the one. And it wasn't like it was like they were printing cans for her. They printed.
There's just one can they made for her.
To her.
Yeah,
but I will. Well, I'll say this, and I'll hand it over to you, Zenith. I will say we have 15, 20 more minutes because we're all going to agree with each other. And so, you said you have to leave at 2:30, right?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, so then 15 minutes. Do you think that'll last? So then 15 minutes we have left. If you're a creationist, I'll probably stay here for, what day is it? Saturday? I'll probably stay here till Tuesday.
I only have about 17 hours.
Yo, but see, isn't that... Okay, Zenith. Like, we have that same guy who says that he has sex with God. He just sets us up for some of the greatest jokes. Like, he'll
My time is rather limited.
Very limited. I can only be here 19 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look wide awake.
Time here.
But it's just crazy because we're like, what? You can only be here for 19 hours? So,
no, I have nothing on my schedule for the next 7 days, so I'm good. I can stay here.
I know.
Well, I had something on my schedule once.
Ultimate
I remember
sexy
it.
time.
I remember it was back in
Your mom getting
1975.
hot out there for ultimate sexy time.
Well, we're just getting out of winter.
Yeah, that's another thing why the Southern Hemisphere doesn't exist. Because, Amy, you know, they're saying that it's winter time right now in the Southern Hemisphere, and that it's summertime. Right, yeah,
No.
that can't be true.
Oh, hey, have a go the way I'm dressed. I'm dressed like this because it's cold.
Yeah, that is proof
I'm dressed like this because it's cold.
You're
You
dressed
mean to
like
tell
that
me-
because of the air conditioning in the NASA building.
Why do you people think Australia's got anything to do with that mob?
Can I just say, I have no idea. Like, so much of the conspiracy theories they have.
Did you know that the NASA, they took the Nazis after World War II and they brought them all over to run NASA?
That and not Cuba, Brazil. So they're working between that. Also, 7-Eleven was a part-time job. Now it's a full-time job, and they have to.
They took over Antarctica. That's where the Nazi saucers fly. Out of Antarctica, the inside of the world.
James, if you were just to clip us for the past 10 minutes, we do we've just been filled up to it too much.
Listen,
yes.
All I know is that we're about to have Wendy's in Australia.
You're about to have Wendy's in Australia? I had Wendy's today. It was fantastic.
You're a Freemason.
I am not.
What if you are
Amy's a Freemason.
Trying to think what the opposite of a Freemason would be. A restricted
Mason.
A restricted carpenter?
Oh, yes. He only puts on the thing across his balls when he feels like, you know. But then again, you people are weird. Anyway, that's all I'm saying is, if
a lot of them did go down to South America after the war.
All I know is if nation rises up against nations, what nations are we talking about? We got nations rising up against nations right now.
Oh.
But the question is, who's going to win?
Dun, 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 dun.
Chris backstage.
Oh, and we'll find out who's going to win. But we are going to add on Disciple Day. What is up, Chris? Lovely to have you here for the end of the show. We're Skeptic and Ranting on He's Already Arrived, but people don't see it. What are your thoughts on anything we're going to talk about tonight?
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Klaus?
Yeah, that's me.
You doing okay?
Oh, I'm all right. I thought you were going to bed.
Well, that's always the dream. I always plan on going to bed, and then
at some point
I get hooked. I get addicted on all this entertainment. So that's
well, let me ask you, which side of the bed do you get on? Because they always say you always get out from the wrong side of the bed.
Oh, well, I think I'm terrible with directions, but I think I sleep on the south side of the bed.
What side of the bed is that?
So I get up on whatever side my wife doesn't get up on.
Oh, so that's lovely. That is. Why wouldn't you go over the top?
That's the correct answer.
No, why wouldn't you go over the top?
When what?
Why wouldn't you just go over the top and get on the other side?
Well, because I'm a little older to be that athletic of getting in the bed that way every day, if I'm understanding it.
Oh, you're still a young man. Amy's still young. James is still young. I'm the only old fart in this place, mate.
You're 27, right?
I feel old. I really do, but I enjoy it, actually.
Amy, come on.
Amy's an old 40-something-year-old geezer with a penis.
I miss, what's her name? All the people that try, where's my
old geezer, Amy Newman.
worships Muhammad.
Mr. Amy Newman.
Amy can't be any more than 25.
Oh,
She's
see?
in her 40s.
Well, I'm a lot older than that is.
Being Baphomet.
But
I thought
I was actually going to say, Chris, I'm handing it back over to you, and then when you are done, we're going to get Randolph in.
okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, Randolph.
I thought the video was quite entertaining. Like, I found it enjoyable to hear different theories. It just, I'm a Christian, and when it comes to like end times prophecy and all that, I just flat out tell the truth. I don't understand it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But and what's interesting about that to me is that's kind of the part of the Christian story. Because like for me, like an idea in Christianity is that, Jesus was the Messiah, right? And from a Christian perspective, there's this idea that the people, he came and all the people who had these prophecies, a lot of them who were like the ones who maybe knew the most, right? Certainly God's people, but then you had like the priests and the Pharisees and those guys. Yeah, of course, as a Christian, it's like they missed it, right? They crucified him instead of believing him, right? So they got the prophecies wrong. Like they misunderstood the prophecy of the coming of Jesus. And so I try to be careful when it comes to end times prophecy, because if I know anything from history of my own, if I'm talking about Christian history, it's like you can read all the prophecy and miss it. And I'm guessing there were a lot of theories back then. I'm sure there were. There were people.
There were different ideas and conceptions of what a Messiah might look like. There were some people who were looking for like a Jesus-like figure, but most of them, I think it's fair to say, were looking for one of the other variants.
Yeah, and because it's what we can even accuse us Christians of is like this. Well, you read back into the text, right? Jesus comes, and then you go back and read back into the text, and so that's a fine argument, but it's, from the way I see it from my perspective, it just tells me to be careful when I look at end times prophecy. And another thing you'll notice is like how many of when I'm talking about cults, I mean like suicide cults, like Heaven's Gate, remember that one, or Waco, remember that one, David Koresh, or Jim Jones, of course, we all drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, how many of those started, at least went down that heavy path of end times? Yeah, end times prophecy, right? That's what you say. Well, the end is coming, and here's how I know. And follow me, because we're going to be the rewarded ones.
Yeah, but hang on a second. The Christianity of today is not, and I'm going to repeat that one, is not the Christianity that was around when Christ was here. Okay?
Well, when Christ was here, there wasn't technically Christianity, because there was only Judaism. I mean, I don't mean only in the world, but from my Christian perspective, Christianity came after the resurrection.
Yeah, but that's after reading the Bible. I'm going back to a time when there was no Bible. Who or what were they getting all this stuff from? They knew nothing about any end times. They knew nothing about any of that sort of stuff. Where did all that sort of stuff come from?
Well, I mean,
and then I will say, Chris, you are going to get the last word on it, because I do have to at least get Randolph in, because James, I know, has to get to bed, because I know he has work eventually. But right back over to you, Chris. But then when you're done, get Randolph in.
I guess that depends who you ask, because some people might say people made it up. It was just made up. It was stories, or it was something that got embellished over time. Or, of course, me as a Christian, I might just say, well, it was written by men at the push of the Spirit of God, and they're the compelling. So it depends who you ask, I think, Klaus. But again, as a Christian, I believe. I mean, I have no problem just believing that it was an event that happened that compelled people to record it. I mean, that happens all the time in history. That doesn't mean that the Bible is factual history in any way, but I'm just saying, obviously, that happens all the time in history, that an event happens and people record it. So, they didn't have the Bible because that hadn't happened yet. It wasn't written till it was written.
And I know you can keep on going back and forth, but we're going to get Randolph in. And Zenith, if you hold a question or if Randolph has a response, and then we can give it back over to Chris if he has a response to the response. But Randolph Richardson, we are Skeptic and Ranting on He's Already Arrived, but people don't see it. And I hope you're doing lovely tonight. And we got 5 more minutes.
Good day, Randolph. How are you, brother?
Oh, it's good to see you, Zenith. It's been a long time. Hello, Amy and James, and I don't know what the other person's name is. Because I'm driving.
This is Chris.
Hard to see.
Hi,
Chris.
Randolph. I'm Chris.
Well, yeah, I'm just driving on the highway right now, so if I'm a little choppy, I'm sorry. So you have a question for people? You usually have a question for people when we join.
Yes, I'll give you a topic so you can just reminisce a little. We've been talking about the Antichrist, and so do you have any thoughts about, I guess, more of just the apocalyptic thought of Christianity, how it always seems to revolve around this end times?
Well, I think if there's an Antichrist, it's definitely going to be opposed to things like oppression and human slavery, which is a form of oppression, and basically controlling people's personal habits, and which, of course, is oppression, and excluding people because they're not religious and all that sort of thing. So I would say that the Antichrist would actually be very much a libertarian, somebody who'd be very much in favor of people having the freedom to be who they want to be without having to be part of a religion. So there'd be no such requirements on anything like that. Because as far as I understand it, Jesus was definitely not anti-slavery or anything like that. He didn't abolish it, and he brought in this whole concept of going to hell and all these kinds of things. So yeah, I would say the Antichrist would be the opposite of those things. So I don't see that as really being a problem, although I know a lot of Christians have pretty opposite ideas of all of this.
No, Randolph, it's going to be King Charles going down to the Temple Mount and declaring himself the Messiah of the Jews. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
Well, still goes back to my original question. Is the Antichrist supposedly be a male or supposedly be a female? Are we looking in the wrong areas?
Oh, well, since Jesus is male, the anti-Jesus Christ character would definitely have to be female from the perspective of some basic logic, I would say.
She would also have to wear leather boots, probably. What? What are we talking about?
I'll leave Susie out of it.
Woo-hoo. But we are talking about the Antichrist, the end of the world. We've been waiting 2,000 years, but I guess that's what happens when you order Postmates, ancient Postmates.
Yeah, but when you think about it, I mean, honestly, if he's come once, and you've got to wait over 2,000 years to come a second time, man, size balls that his boat's got to have.
I was going to say, I feel like at that point you need to try things, maybe eat some grapefruit, some more protein.
Yeah.
Work out maybe. These things happen.
And I got a better question for you. Now, some say he was some say Jesus was married, some say he wasn't. Now, if he was married, did he have children? And if he had children and that bloodline, or whatever word you want there, is still around, could they not be one of the Antichrists? Just had enough of dad.
I don't know, but that would also be a fantastic sitcom.
So when they were teenagers going through a rebellious period, they probably at least temporarily be antichrists at that point, right?
That's right. Oh yes. That's the whole point, I mean, honestly, have a think about it. When you're the child of someone's dad, did you always love your dad? No.
My dad. my dad was really a great father. So, and my mom too, great mother. So I'm fortunate in that respect. But I know that not everybody has the best situation with family. And when I take a look at God, the Father, Holy Ghost, and Spirit, and all that, and see the horrible things he's done, and ordering a father to kill his own son, and flooding the whole planet, killing nearly everybody, that looks to me like the abusive type of personality. So he's probably a terrible father in my view.
Real quick, this is no relevance, but I think it was Amy brought up something about a sitcom. Do any of you guys remember God, the Devil, and Bob?
God, the Devil and
It was a
Bob.
very
That's
short-run
fantastic
cartoon.
title.
Yeah, you guys have never seen it for real? Oh, you got to look it up. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. It's an old cartoon, and it was, boy, it must have been the 90s, I think, maybe early 2000s. I think it was the 90s, and it was just very funny. And I haven't watched it again as a Christian, only before when I was a non-Christian, but something to look up, and maybe if you could find it, worth watching an episode. And it may be terrible. My memories could be, have you ever thought something was great and went back again? And so that could be too, but
that is okay. I'm looking forward to, I looked it up, but now I'm looking forward to watching it. Also sending love to Duchess of Clutches and Uncle Beck. What is up out there? Why am I don't even have an Instagram, but my watch is reminding me. Or I guess I do, but I don't do anything on it. Anyway, we are going to go into outros because James has to pass out. I probably should pass out because I've been up since 7 a.m. Though I've took him 30-minute naps and stuff, so I can't complain too much. And so Skydaddy, MIA, send love, God equals square root of 1, and Carrie, and everyone that's been hanging with us, Sven and Krish. Say Sumami, say goodbye to us at the end, and we'll say goodbye to you, Pragmatic. But we're going in the opposite order that we went in, which means Randolph, you were the latest to join us, which means you're going to start us off. We are Skeptic and Ranting on He's Already Arrived, but people don't see it. Though the video said the exact opposite, so whatever.
Well, thank you for bringing me onto the stage here. I appreciate it. I run an organization called Canadian.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Randolph.
Yeah.
Because what happened was you said I run and then it just went completely blank.
Oh,
so
okay.
Try that one more time.
Try it again. Thank you for letting me know. So thank you for bringing me up onto the stage. I always appreciate it. You always run great shows. It's wonderful. Keep it up. You're great at it. I'm running an organization called Canadian Atheists at CanadianAtheists.ca. It's the website. You can, we advocate for equal treatment of atheists and trying to end the stigma and vilification, because those are completely uncalled for and completely unfair. And I'll give you something to think about. At the end of July, I came up with this. I was thinking, okay, so, and you could make a whole show of this if you wanted, Amy. If everybody who goes to heaven, or everybody who dies ends up going to heaven or to hell for all of eternity, as Christians all seem to think it does, and Muslims seem to have a similar idea, you're in one of these two places after you've died forever. So that means that the populations in these places will just keep getting larger and larger. Now, does that mean that God is a hoarder? Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought, and thanks again, and I look forward to hearing everybody else's exit speeches.
The answer is yes. And thank you so very much, Randolph. Check out Canadian Atheist in the chat. And all right, moving right down.
Hello.
Chris, what is up? We have a Skeptic and Ranting, and he's already arrived, but people don't see it. Always lovely having you on. Do you have anything going on the interwebs? And what are your final thoughts?
Well, I just want to say thank you to you, Amy and James, and to Klaus and Randolph. It's nice meeting you guys, and I just feel privileged to get to talk to you. And Klaus and I have become quick friends, so he and I get to talk more often. But I'll just say this to Christians, because that's what I am. My message, or what I would like to say with, is just love others. I'm so stuck on that, because that's really what I've seen, and that's what Jesus says, is this is how the world will know that we belong to him, is our love for one another. So I just try and live that out. And if you're going to preach Christ crucified, and don't get caught up in end times prophecy. So that's nothing for the atheists. That's just for the Christians. You love others, and sure, tell them about Christ. Don't get hung up in end time prophecy. And what Rudolph said, I found really particularly interesting at the end, because it was, I just tracked with him real well. It's kind of, because I think he said, like, the Antichrist would come in and look like a good guy. I think that was the gist of it. Was like, he's going to be against slavery and against these awful things and against arbitrary sin and whatever. I don't know, but it seemed like and to me that makes a lot of sense, because that's kind of the people I deal with all the time. Like, many people who are just I call them part of my family. They fell for something that appeared to be offering freedom and instead enslaved them. Like, that's like the idea of drugs and alcohol. I'm not saying for everyone, but this is what I've seen. Is
Sure.
Like, a bunch of people have bought in that alcohol was going to give them freedom because they had anxieties and worries and whatever it was, or maybe just needed entertainment, or they thought drugs were going to give them freedom. It looked good for a while. Like, it really looked like, hey, this is the good thing. This is the answer. And in the end, they ended up enslaved. Like, I've just seen it so many times. And so it's an interesting thought, the way Randolph put that. I thought it just got my mind thinking, and it was really a wonderful, deep thought. But that makes a lot of sense to me, that the Antichrist would come in and he looked by someone who's going to offer freedom, but in fact ended up enslaving people. So that's just my closing thought. Thank you for letting me on. Thank you guys. You're always so kind to me, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for your
Thank you so
commentary.
very much.
Good night,
Yeah,
Chris.
thanks for your commentary on what I was saying. You did characterize what I was saying pretty well correctly. Thanks.
Woo-hoo. Thank you so very much, Chris, and for, like I said, the back and forth, because we love Randolph too. And also check off Randolph Richardson's stream with Taco and T-Jump, Ix, myself, Peter, all those lovely people. But Chris, thank you so very much for coming on. We really do appreciate all the love and support, and we give all that right back to you. You have a family here, and so sending love. And Zenith,
Yeah.
we've been Skeptic and Ranting on He's Already Arrived, but people don't see it. Lovely having you on. Do you have anything going on the interwebs? And what are your final thoughts?
Well, same thing. I'd like to say thank you very much for having me on again. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, James. Hi, Chris. And my best wishes to Randolph. And yes, well, Australia, unfortunately, isn't in the same boat as Canada and America. We don't really have anything here to say against anything. We have no free speech. If you say anything about Antichrist, if you say anything about atheists, if you say anything like that, they just take you straight off. You're not allowed to say you're not. But the point is, and what it should always be, exactly what everyone's saying, you should love each other, be happy with each other, be good to those that are good, be just as bad to those ones that are bad. So what it just simply means to me is love each other, be good to one another, and always, in every way possible, never, ever hate. Thank you very much for having me on today. Take care.
One quick question, Zith. Were you saying that Canada, Australia, and the U.S., we don't have the freedom to speak out about religion? Because here in Canada, we certainly do.
Yeah, no, the opposite. You do.
Oh, okay.
Here
Okay,
in Australia, we don't. If I were to put something like this up like and put it up onto any other platform in Australia, what this Prime Minister here has just put in now is called misinformation. So 80-90% of what I've just said be classified as misinformation, and I'm off. Yeah. Because I can't prove it.
What would the charges be?
Oh, no charges. They just, you're off. It's false information. You can't spread that. That's all hate speeches, and it's all against what everybody else says. And that's the end of you.
So if you make something that speaks out against the atrocities of religion in Australia, you will be censored?
Yes. 100%.
So doesn't Australia have in its constitution or in legal system protections for free expression?
Yeah, as long as you get a permit to do it, and you got to give them an example, and if they don't like it, you don't get it.
Wow, that's ridiculous. That's not free expression. I'm sorry you're having to endure that. That's awful.
Yeah, well, that's why people like me keep our mouth shut, because it's a waste of time. Who we're going to talk to? And the people that do agree with what's being said, no, the walls over ears. Yeah, it's pardon the pun, but it sucks. Worse than a vacuum cleaner.
I just want you to know that no one on this channel will appreciate a pun more than Randolph Richardson. Just gonna point that out there. I love puns, but he's very punny. Anyway,
yeah, I know. Like me and Randolph have been speaking for quite a while, and Chris, yeah, well, I'm very happy to meet him. He's there. And I've been watching you and James for quite a while, long time, but I've always been quiet. Now I know with a bit of luck, I can at least get some of the things that are on my chest out into the world.
Absolutely. I always feel like it's cathartic. And so, exactly, come on, say what's on your mind. And we were happy to have you here. Keep on coming on.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Take care.
And all right, we're handing it over to the co-pilot.
Good
James,
night.
We are landing this plane.
Good
Anything
night.
else to say?
No,
You're like, nope, shut
yeah, no.
All right, I'm gonna do the quickest thing because I can just feel James. Speaking of feeling, he's like, I want bed. I want sleep. He's like, I love you all, but I also like pillows and blankets. Here is the
At least a couple
fibber.
hours.
Oh, I know that feel. And so here, if you need your podcast produced, if you have that one idea that you're like, and it's 1 to 3 ideas. Let me tell you, that's the first rule of advice that I give you. Because if you think specific, I'm already trying to talk like I'm giving a client. Go on, check it out if you have a podcast or want to create a podcast. And with that, I hope that you all had a fun time on this episode of Dragon Ball. No, I hope that you all misfits had a fun episode of Skeptic and Ranting as we watched a video from the channel Lion of Judah. Simba, one day this will all be yours. Wait, wrong. Close. Where we watched He's Already Arrived, but people don't see it. As we had a good time worth ending the world. However, spooky. However, I do want to thank my co-host James W. along with our guest, ding, ding, sending love to Peter, R.N. Ra, the guy who kicked. I modded a debate the other day, and my gosh, that was also a bloodbath between a Mormon and an ex-Mormon. My Jeebus. Sending love to James W. along with our guest, Zenith, Chris, and Randolph. Hi, how are you doing? As well as the lovely people in chat, our awesome mods who make this stream so great, and who we should not just sling curses. I can't help it. So a specific flower is unblocked, so sending love to this person, but then please this specific very sunny person. Come on, let's just get our mods and you. We're just holding hands. We're jumping through a flower patch together.
If Peter was here, he could play Darth sing Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. Yeah, exactly. Basically.
But then those words at the end stuff me up.
Do they? Lots of things stuff.
Kumbaya, my lord.
Oh, that's right. You're right. It's got a lord in there. The Lord is always a weird word. They have normalized it because they just say Lord and Savior, Lord and Savior, Lord and Savior. But But
that's also a 4-letter word.
And I'm a fan of them. What are we talking about? Lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to like that big old upvote. Follow on twitch.tv/AmyNewmanSkeptic. Or subscribe. That's right. Join the Skeptic and Ranting family, because then you can hit that bell icon, which when set to all will give you reminders to see our premieres or join our live streams. I should just upload the one. I have a decent video. Did you like it, James? You said they were feeling the energy. That one I showed you on Bud Light. Yeah. All right, I'll probably upload that one and then do the other. I'll probably upload it to the Patreon first. I uploaded the first one to the Patreon. I have James sample it, show me it's not crap, and then I'll put it on the Patreon, which there we go, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'll do it to subscribers and viewers after that. If you have bell icon or hey, who even knows, James, who this person is? Oh my God, I have a heterosexual voice. I promised I wouldn't make any more jokes about this.
But you know what they say, don't you? Promises are meant to be broken.
It's true.
You know, you just inspired a parody for me. I'm Kumbaya flying spaghetti monster.
Well, as long as you got a bit of pineapple in there, it's fine.
Listen, we all need more pineapple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I often wonder what people do with the rough end of a pineapple, but I haven't had the balls to ask.
Oh my! It's a challenge, but anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's like some of these people that ride bikes, you know, in the middle of the street, and you offer them a banana, but they won't take it off you.
I would take that banana off you.
Yeah, but you got other things to do with it. These ones that are wearing
gotta get my potassium somehow. You can also leave a super thanks, just like a super chat, and we're sending love to all of the people who sent us super chats. And after the show, the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server opens, the link of which is in the description below, along with all of our fantastic channel members, Twitch subscribers, Patreons. In fact, the best way to help us make even more content and unlock some unique perks, as well as our new just Patreon-only show and all this other fun stuff. James is like, I gotta... It's right there. Patreon.com/Amy Newman. Ding, 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 ding. Right up there. I am Amy Newman, and we will see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night.
And when will that be?
Oh, well, that is... Oh, my. I can't help it. Just as a PSA to everyone out there, first of all, you all need more babies. And also, the final word is more pineapple. More pineapple.
Let's hear it for the pineapple. Pineapple.